spooky shit, dude.
It's not spooky enough. It's spooky season.
We need spookier.
No English, only Spanish. We have your friend Schwartz. We called the wrong number again.
What are you talking about?
Your old phone number is a guy that speaks Spanish, and I've
What did
called
he
him.
say?
I've called him twice
He usually
now.
says no English, only Spanish. We thought you got hosteled both times. Well, I did.
Both
I
times.
thought you were kidnapped. I thought this guy took you and answering your phone and was going to ask for a ransom.
in Spanish.
Well, luckily he wasn't hosteled.
He's with us today.
Luckily,
The movie you're making me. Have you ever been hosteled?
I mean, I've been to a hostel.
The movie you're making me
Never
watch
got
today
hosteled.
is two movies, Hostel and Hostel Part 2, which could be one large movie the way he made it.
Very much so.
He being Eli Roth. Hostel 2005, Hostel Part 2. What was that?
07.
2 years later, 07. Beautiful. Both produced, executive producer Quentin Tarantino. They made a good movie here. What's your haiku, Jake? Like Hostel, or it's mine. I can tell you mine.
Yeah.
My movie.
You got
Haiku. I can tell you
Good.
haiku.
give us your haiku or haikus.
So I got 2 haikus. You don't have to do 2. I just did 2. One for the first one for the second one. First haiku for Hostel 1. Kids kill for candy.
Nice.
That's alliterative too. I love that.
Did you just really say kids kill for candy?
Yeah.
That's what I have on mine.
Is that your first one?
I swear to God.
Yeah.
Those kids are the best part of these movies, by the way.
Kids kill for candy.
Just right off the top. Favorite parts.
Because my original first line of my original haiku, I try to go a couple iterations, was what is life? What is a life worth? And then the last one was kids kill for candy. But no, I started this one, kids kill for candy. Mike spent all his money. Achilles tendon.
Nice.
Nice.
That's
I'm
for
glad
the
you guys
first
knew
movie.
that Takashi Miike was that guy. That's cool.
Yeah, I just found that out.
Bleh.
And
You
Rodrigo
spend all your
Diodaro was
money
in.
All your money in there. Fun fact: Mike speaks no English, and he just learned that phonetically.
Nice. And
It's very Mike.
Riagato Diodato was in or whatever his name
Fuck
is.
did you just say to me?
Rigario Diodato, I think is his name. The guy who did
Diodato?
Cannibal Holocaust is in number 2.
Who's is he? Which guy?
He's like the older guy they like first offer the girl that was like half fucked up to, and then he goes back and then starts like sauteing the guy's legs and shit. That's the dude
Nice.
that did Cannibal Holocaust.
Nice. That makes sense.
So
Is
two
he
movies he
the
uses.
leg?
Yeah, he uses famous directors in both.
Dude, that was
I like that
wild.
little throw in.
2 was fucked up. One
was
was
fucked up.
Two. One's good, but 2 is just great.
2 takes it over the top.
2 is
That
not
scene.
great.
That scene. Oh my God. 2 is so much better than 1. It's not even funny.
What? Well,
That
better
scene
than-
when the
I don't know,
woman
better than
slices her
one.
up and the blood pours all over her is probably the coolest scene in both
Wild.
movies.
The literal bloodbath.
Yes, that was
Wild.
so cool.
Who?
All right.
And the
That's
ending of 2,
that's
the
a
ending of 2 was perfect.
historical. That's a historical. Who does that? Who did that? Madame Bathory. Is that right?
Bathory is her name. All right. What's your-
Pronounced Bathory?
What's your number 2 haiku?
Oh, you want me to give you both?
If you'd like to, or we can come back either way.
The second one for the second movie is Here's the Other Side. Americans are pricey. Snip, snip, dick and balls.
Americans are pricey should have been the tagline for this movie.
Americans are pricey. Went whole hog.
Snip, dick, and balls.
Snip, snip,
Nice.
dick and balls.
Nice.
So you got the
Jake,
dick
what's your
and
haiku?
balls. So the last line of
Mm.
both my haikus were the kind of the iconic fucked up moments.
Yes. My haiku, I just did one for both of them, very much more broad in the sense of
You
these
can't say
movies are
broads. You can say females.
so broad as
Come
in
on, dude.
It's
Anyway.
2022.
these movies are fucked. Don't forget to bring a towel, because shit gets bloody.
Okay.
Shout out to Towley.
Don't forget to bring it down. You only
Don't
got
forget
one.
to bring it down.
That's fine.
I only have one too, but
That's
it
fine.
encompasses
That's fine.
both. So
Encompass.
torture, death, pliers, boobs, dogs, dicks, bloody tits. Kids kill for candy.
Kids kill for candy.
Can you give me
That's
that
it, baby.
second line again?
Yeah.
Boobs, dogs, dicks, bloody tits.
That is a shirt.
That
all
that
I
sums it
wanted
up.
all I took from this movie is I want to photograph that scene in the tub, like make it pictures of that, just still pictures. That'd be fun.
Wow, that's gross.
That'd be fun. That's a good one.
That's a good one.
All right,
Uh,
so
Elizabeth Bathory was a noblewoman, alleged serial killer. She used to she killed hundreds of women. I swear she used to bathe in their blood.
where was she from? London?
Hungary in the 1500s. So I don't know if that's
a long
like
time
the
ago.
Hungarian Empire of some sort.
Those Euros.
They called her the Countess Dracula or the Blood Countess.
Sick.
Spooky.
She had
Sick.
vampiric tendencies, such as she bathed in the blood of virgins to retain her youth. Generally recorded years after her death are considered unreliable. Oh, I didn't need to read that second part. That
I
bitch
think what I
blade.
like about
Big
Eli
and
Roth is one of the things I like best about Tarantino is it just seems like he's a real big fan of movies, making movies. You know what I mean? That's what I think I like about it. It's a different caliber.
Right.
I mean, I'm not comparing Eli Roth to Tarantino and artistically, but they're kindred spirits in that way. It's kind of like how Robert Rodriguez and Tarantino are like that. They're just really big fans of movies in general, and they can
Right.
just
You can
tell. You can
compare them
tell.
in
You can
so
see
many
it in their
ways.
work. I mean, you can compare them in that they're directors. They dig horror movies. They make violent things and things that just upset the status quo. But Tarantino's a couple of notches above.
And these are
Sure, all in all.
Eli's first two features, correct?
No, Cabin Fever was the first feature.
Oh, that's right. Cabin Fever. Cabin Fever was dope. I liked Cabin Fever.
Tarantino saw Cabin Fever and he decided to call Eli Roth up and be like,
Yeah.
"Yo, actually, they met at Sundance." And
All right.
I listened to an interview where Eli Roth literally goes, yeah, Tarantino saw Cabin Fever and he liked it. So he calls me and we watch movies sometimes together now. That's pretty rad. Need to make a movie. I just need to make a movie he sees, he likes, and then he'll give me a call. Hey, Anthony, saw this, liked it. Come over. I got 35 print. Probably wanted a 35 millimeter print of it. That was probably the first thing he said. Yo, I loved your movie. Can I get a 35 millimeter print of it?
probably. I'm sure he's got a 35 millimeter print of both these movies.
The story goes they were talking about movies, his next movie, Eli Roth, because after Cabin Fever, a lot of people were talking to him, and a lot of it was kind of big studio movies and a lot of them were remakes. So he was talking to Tarantino, and he was like, yo, what should I do? Should I do remakes or should I do like my own thing? He was like, and he told him the story of Hostel, and he was like, you gotta do Hostel. He's like, if your first movie was good, which it was, your second movie's more important than your first movie, and that's the one that says who you are. So you gotta make this. If this is who you are, you gotta make this. That's why he made Hostel.
Good. I like that.
That's why he always says about Pulp Fiction he had to beat Reservoir Dogs because he didn't want to be the guy who knew he made the good movie and then made shitty movies after that.
Yeah, it sucks when your first one's a banger, dude.
And it's always a bummer when like really good creative people go the route of remakes and sequels and all this shit. That happens to a lot
Denis
of great directors
Villeneuve
sometimes.
started doing that shit, which kind of pisses me off. I mean, I liked Blade Runner.
I totally agree with you. Danny Villeneuve is like where I was thinking of. I know it's like in his other stuff, Sicario, prisoners, all those like are even Arrival, like they're all so good, and like now he's just remaking older movies and stuff. I don't know why he had to go.
I mean, Blade Runner was pretty great because it was a sequel and it was like the only sequel ever. So I don't fault him for that. And Deakins did it, like that was pretty sick. But
it was cool, but
I feel
like his more original stuff.
Yeah, I feel like I heard he's gonna do something else next. That's like another big movie like that. I forget what it was.
Star Wars.
Probably.
That's Taika. Taika's doing Star Wars.
Yeah, they're throwing everyone fucking Star Wars
Waititi?
shit. It's like how Ryan
Smith.
Johnson fucked up the Star Wars. Like Ryan Johnson's makes great original shit, but like when you handed him
Exactly.
Star Wars, like that shit fucking ruined a franchise.
Exactly.
Ruined 40 years of progress. Took us back 40 years, dude, that movie.
I'm surprised J.J. Abrams didn't kill himself when he saw that movie.
I'm surprised the order. What's the order of stormtroopers? They just
First
show
Order?
up at his house and kill him. No, there's like a troop of troopers that it's like the
They're
31st
assassins?
the 31st Order or something. I can't remember what it is, but it's worldwide, very known stormtrooper club.
Wait, so you're saying in real life there's a bunch of dudes dress up like stormtroopers and go and kick people's asses?
They don't
Saw them
kick
at the
his
mall
asses,
one
time.
but
Oh, well, that's what you made it sound like. That's actually a really great movie idea. Is a bunch of dudes dress up like stormtroopers and go like try to like fight crime. That'd be pretty funny.
Or just beat up people that make bad
Or
fucking
if they're
Star
the
Wars
bad
fan
guys.
films.
What if they're the bad guys? That'd be funnier. Like terrorists.
I mean, stormtroopers were the bad guys. They were the
No, what if they're the?
terrorists.
That's true. So it would work out. All right. Anyway,
the 501st Legion. That's what it is. It's basically a stormtrooper club. If you make your own stormtrooper costume, then you can be a part of this club.
what's criteria? Man, you show up with a costume, you can march with us, baby.
I was at the movies a
501st.
few months ago, and there was like these two dudes just in the parking lot in stormtrooper costumes, like doing like stretching and shit. Like they were just like by this car that was all painted out with like Star Wars. Remember, they were just in Star Wars. I'm like, what the fuck's going on?
Part of the 501st Legion.
And there was like nothing going on or like around there. There wasn't some like event or anything. It was just
Doesn't have to be, dude.
It wasn't the Star Wars wasn't out. Nothing new. Like I don't even know what I went to see that day. But it was just like a random in the middle of the afternoon movie. I'm like, what the fuck are these guys doing in Star Troopers or
Maybe they're going to
costumes?
a kid's birthday party.
Perhaps. Really cool
Or-
fucking super.
or
I may have
retirement
sent you
home.
guys a picture
Get
of them
together.
or when this happened. It was a few months back, but it was a random occurrence. Anywho,
Stormtroopers.
Yeah, check it out. Check out 501st.com.
Yeah.
But that's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about Hostel 2005.
How you wanna do
Or
it?
did you not hate it?
Me?
Yeah.
I actually liked the first one. Surprisingly, I really thought that the first one was good and like creative twist and good story and everything like that. The second one I did not care for because I thought it was the same shit that a lot of sequels do. They kind of take that like same story and just ramp it up and give it extra gore, extra blood, extra
It was a
fucked up
little ramped.
characters.
It's a little ramped.
And it just made less sense. The second one did. So
Okay.
All right.
talk
So
about why.
how did it make less sense?
Well,
what
let's
about
talk-
it didn't
let's-
make sense?
Let's talk about the first
No,
one
no,
first.
let's talk about what Jake said. All right, fine.
okay, I mean,
Jake,
I
is-
can give you a quick one, or we can get there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's talk about the
Okay.
first one, which you liked. First one's about two college students, Paxton and Josh. They start out in Amsterdam, right?
Yeah.
Two Americans in Amsterdam. They're in college, or they're about to go to college, or about
They're
to
like
graduate
college. They're like college age. I don't know if I don't remember. I think he was going back to college because he said something about them being in medical school, or he was about to take one of them was about to take a bar exam.
some kind of
something like
exam.
that,
That's, yeah,
so-
so maybe they're like about to finish college.
Yeah, it
It's
seems
kinda
like they're
the
wrapping
last
up college.
hurrah before
Yeah, that's
bunch
what it
of
seemed like.
drugs, bunch of girls.
Partying
Which one's
Amsterdam
which?
style.
Paxton is
Paxton's the main guy, the lead, Jay Hernandez.
Jay Hernandez. Well, he's not. He's Josh. Josh is kind of the lead at first. He's.
I guess you're kind of right. It kind of feels like
we kind of it kind of does a little psycho move where you're following one person and then spoiler, they kill him off, and then we go back to and I actually listened to the docu or the commentary, and so they go to Amsterdam. They're smoking weed. They're doing fun stuff, but it's not anything that they're not doing at home until they want to meet some girls. So do they meet someone that tells them to go to Slovakia?
Yeah, they met some dude in Amsterdam that tells them like, "Oh, you guys are looking for girls, you're looking for fun," because they were like
Oh,
complaining
okay.
that there were too many Americans in Amsterdam.
Yeah. So
Which for me
they're
it was
staying
funny
at a
because
hostel
it seemed
right
they're
now
staying at a different hostel in
in
Amsterdam.
Amsterdam,
It
and
was very
they
very
go
very
too late
timely of
one
that
night.
era
They go
of all
to
these Americans.
yeah, a lot.
Yeah, they just go over there because weed's not legal in America yet, so everyone goes to Amsterdam to
Drug
party. I
tourism.
remember those days of like I knew random people going to party in Amsterdam when it's like now you can just do it here.
Yeah, by the time I actually went to Amsterdam with my family, but I was way too young to enjoy any of that kind of fun stuff. And by the time I was old enough to enjoy / travel on my own, weed was legal
Yeah.
in California.
California. Yeah.
But they're at a hostel. They go back to their hostel one night after partying. It's late. The hostel's locked. They're trying to get in. They can't get in. So this guy waves them down and tells them, "Come up to my room."
They're trying to get in and they're yelling and all these people from the fucking buildings are
Yeah.
throwing glass bottles and shit at them. So
They're
they
being-
need to get shelter.
Yeah,
and this
they're
dude
being
is like,
very
"Yo,
rude.
you gotta come up here."
Yeah, he pulls them up. And this is this guy. Is this old? No, this is Alexi. There's a third guy too, an Icelandic guy, Oli,
King of Swing.
the king of the swing. They go up to this guy's room. There's like two people fucking on the couch, and and Oli's into it, and they're too fucked up to even notice anybody. He was like, "Don't worry about them. They're too fucked up to know," which is another true story. That it was great listening to the commentary. It was actual story from. It also kind of made the movie better for me in a way, because a lot of these scenes are they're kind of they're kind of off the chain. And then when he's like, that one actually happened, it makes the movie better when it's and it says based on true events in the beginning. He says this is based on true events.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of artistic.
What events were true? Who fucking knows?
Yeah,
But
who
there
cares?
were
I'll
some
tell you
true
if you
events
ask.
in there.
So they're up in this guy's room now. He later we find out he lured him up there, but they're up there and they're talking to him about how, like Jake said, they're sick of Amsterdam, too many girls. They want to go. I think they're going to Barcelona.
Too many Americans, not too many girls.
I'm sorry. Yeah, too many Americans. Well, too many girls for this one guy. There's some deep homo curious feelings for Josh, which we see.
Yeah.
Do we see the? I think we missed the whole businessman in the train. Did we miss that already?
Not yet. That's on their way to
Okay.
Slovakia.
So Alexi says, "You want girls, and no Americans. You want to go to? Is it Slovakia?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You want to go to Slovakia? This is where you should go." And so next day they board a train and they get on and they go, and that's where they meet this Dutch businessman. Who's a little creepy, eats with his hands, eats like he's like eating this weird meat salad with his hands. Gives a weird speech about how they're not connected to their food or something. I don't know. He said some weird shit.
Before you go on, I think what I forgot about this movie is the whole time is this is a very crude movie. Like there's nothing sophisticated about this movie. This is like a bunch of frat boys just going to get pussy. Like that's what the first 35 minutes this movie is.
Yes.
And the over the topness, some of the things that they say are so spot on and kind of too on the nose, but like that's not what this movie's about. You know what I mean? Like you forgive that. Like this movie's a little elevated. This is very an elevated reality, and it's none of this is probably going to happen. I think it is.
I think so, because the crude humor is over the top. How they're acting.
I don't think people actually act like that. Like those dudes were. If that was like a caricature of the people that are like that, you know what I mean? They're portraying an elevated version.
But I also feel like in 2005, a lot of people in that type of genre acted like that in these type of movies, if that makes sense. It's a very specific thing to say, but
I don't
like
know.
just that,
Listening
like,
to the commentary, so much of it, they're like, yeah, that was a real thing, or that. So they actually said they a lot a lot of it's
I think
because
they're,
I would think the same thing. I mean, yeah, I mean a caricature of it
yeah,
is
I think they're just leaning into the characters of like
sure.
frat boys, of like party guys, like,
It is a crude movie,
you know,
for sure.
it's crude humor, and like the acting isn't really great because it's like for, you know, there's a lot of horror movies that are kind of known for not the best acting. So right now
I
they're just
wanted.
not.
I think that was the point I was trying to get to. Is that the
Yeah,
acting was sometimes too on the nose. It was like
yeah, it's a little. There's just
it looked like it seemed like acting. You know what I
yeah.
mean? It wasn't. It seemed like they were just literally like reading off the script sometimes.
Well, some of them were.
Oh, really?
So not like any of the main characters, but like there was a taxi driver who at one point was actually too drunk to drive the car, and he was all the lines he was giving, he was just looking directly at cue cards and reading them.
Okay. I
but
mean, I
none of
think
the
Jay Hernandez is probably the worst actor ever.
what really
That guy sucks.
Ever.
I don't know. He's not good. That's the only thing I hated about this movie. And I love this
I
movie.
mean, no one,
I think it's a great movie.
no
He's
one's a
better
great
than
actor.
the other guy.
It's a lot of no names in this movie.
The other guy played the part better. I feel like I felt like I kind of I don't know. Jay Hernandez looked like he just like he looks like he showed up on set and sat down and was in his wardrobe and just was like blah 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 blah, blah. And then they cut and he was just like chilling and they just say it like, you know what I mean? Like he just looks like he didn't really have a care in the world. Looks like he just showed up, said his lines, went home, jerked off, went to bed.
Oh jeez.
He was just kind of the douche for like the first half of this movie.
He wasn't a douche. He was just boring.
He was just I guess he wasn't too douchey,
wasn't
but he was
douchey at
just
all.
in it to party, in it to get laid.
So
They're all,
they're
that's
on
all
a
they
can't blame
train
them.
to-
They're like
they're on a
22,
train to
23
Slovakia.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. On the
Businessman
train to
comes
Slovakia.
in, gives him a little time, and then awkwardly touches Josh's leg in a pseudo sexual manner, and he freaks out. Josh yells at him. The guy leaves, and that's
No
the last
touching.
we see of the businessman for now.
Before you go on from that, though, the part you were talking about before, like the eating with his hands and
Yeah.
you would talk about that more. I guess that's pretty key.
He was just
What do you mean?
savagery.
He was eating the meat and he started talking about how he doesn't use a fork or anything because he wants to feel the feel of the meat on his
he
hands
said
and
something
shit.
about people not being connected to their food or
food, right? Yeah.
yeah, something. I don't know, it was weird.
Yeah. And it was just it's creepy. You're like, what the fuck? All right.
Yeah,
awesome
he was a
guy.
weird guy, and then I don't know. He said some other weird shit about what did he say?
Well, it's just again with the caricatures, he would just look at them, and you look at them with the most sinister fucking look. He's like
He was
Christoph
also a
Waltz's pissed off
creepy
cousin.
looking dude.
Yeah, you can tell he's
like
the villain.
Christoph Waltz creepy version.
It's the
He
Eastern
was very
European
waltzy.
accent, you know.
He was also a local actor in Prague, which is where they shot this. He was like a Shakespearean theater actor.
Oh, I could see that dude playing Macbeth any day.
Yeah. And apparently he learned his lines phonetically as well, which he had a lot of lines, and he sounded like he spoke a little English anyway.
He was great.
He did good, yeah.
The evil. He looked evil as fuck. Just his eyes held so
But
much.
we
weight to them.
don't think he's evil yet. He's just, I mean,
He set up the creep
He's a
factor
little
for
weird.
sure.
He's a little weird.
creepy, but we don't know. We don't know what's going on yet. So they
I
go
mean, right off the bat. If you're gonna dig deep, you're like, oh, this guy eats people.
Why is he touching Josh?
Yeah,
because
Don't
he
touch my
wanted to
thigh.
bang him, dude.
Yeah, I
that
guess.
too. There's a lot of homoeroticness in this movie.
There is, and another thing they said.
You know
was,
what? Now that you say that, I feel like Eli, because after seeing Eli Roth in Death Proof, when Tarantino's Death Proof, where he's just like the guy trying to get laid, drink beers. Maybe Eli Roth is Jay Hernandez in real life.
He's a little gay.
That's just who he
Oh no,
is.
Jay Hernandez isn't gay.
No, he's
Maybe.
just this like douchey guy who wants to get laid. Because
I mean,
looks like that.
he was the guy in Amsterdam. He was just the dude that fucking like drops the bong or something. He's like, oh, what the
Yeah.
fuck, bro? Like he was just the
That's
he was
right.
just the bro
That's
in the
right. He did a
background.
little cameo when he was in Amsterdam. In my head, I see the same. I see Eli Roth as Jay Hernandez for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I could see that though. Now that
I
you
don't
say
know
that.
if he
Based
ever,
on a
he-
true
I don't know if he
story.
ever said that, but a lot is
You know-
based on a true story, including when they see Pulp Fiction when they walk into the hospital.
Yeah.
That everyone's sitting around watching Pulp Fiction. That was
That was cool.
that was
that was
another
cool.
True story. And one thing, funny thing they said was when in America or English speaking countries, when that scene comes on and it comes on, I think it's the and I will raise upon the great. He's saying the Ezekiel quote, and in American speaking country or in America, everyone laughed at that part, but in Prague, it did not kill because it's just Pulp Fiction on TV. And
Yeah, doesn't make sense.
yeah. Anyway, so they're in the hostel. They give the front desk guy immediately takes their passports, gives them a key to the room, and they meet the girls, Natalia and Svetlana.
Yeah,
And it's important to like know like that when they walk in, they're like basically just putting their tops on. They're like,
naked.
we're about to go to the spa. Come join.
So many boobs in this movie.
Important lines. And yes, lots of boobs.
So many boobs.
Good boobs.
So they go to the club. They go to the disco with the girls, and this is where
boobs, dogs, dicks, bloody tits.
Yeah, it's all there. A horror movie needs.
They bang. They go to the club. They hang out. I'm not sure a whole lot of shit happens until
and then
they're
and
at
then
the club. Go ahead.
They give them ecstasy and
Yeah.
at the club, and then they all get fucked up, and
they all bang.
But you're also starting to realize that these girls, there's something different about these girls. Like there's ominous dudes following them around. There's like weird shit happening to where they also see
they're always looking at each other in sinister ways.
There's a lot of sinister gazes in this movie.
Gazes,
side eyes.
Sinister gaze is a
Hot
great name
chicks,
for
sinister-
anything.
sinister
We have to
gaze.
use that. Sinister gaze. It
Just
really
sounds
works
like a
both
bad
ways now.
guy's name. What's up? My name's Sinister Gaze.
In the beginning of the movie, when they're checking in, I think Jay Hernandez or what's the other dude's name? The other weird dude,
Josh. It's
sees
Paxton
somebody.
is Jay and Josh is
Don't they see somebody in the room, and then like when they go in the next day, there's like big dudes cleaning out the room and like looking at them all weird and shit.
I think so, yeah. That might be the second movie actually. I think that's the second one.
Oh, that's the second one with the girls. You're right.
Yeah. Same thing happens.
So yeah, they get ecstasy. These girls give them ecstasy, or whatever it is. It makes them fucking sleepy. Josh goes back, gets fucking taken. That's the thing. He goes back to the hotel, and
Oli's
not
gone
yet, not yet.
Oli's
first,
gone.
they hook up with the girls. Oli hooks up with the front desk girl that works at the hostel.
Or no,
And
the
then
Asian girl.
No, that night he hooks up with the front desk girl.
Okay, yeah, she's at the party.
The next day, him and the Asian
That's
girl
right.
go missing, and they think it's
They're
weird
like,
because they're like,
he doesn't even
like Asian girls.
Girl from front desk, Valia.
Yeah, exactly. So they like kind of that's the night of them gaining their trust, I guess. Maybe I don't know. And then it's the next night is when they party, because that's when they find out Oli's missing. But they think like, oh, maybe Oli just dipped because he's just a European dude, and like they're a little suspicious, but they check the front desk and like, yeah, he checked out. The creepy front desk guy is like,
but also the Asian, and then the Asian girl comes up.
Yeah, that's what raises a flag. Yeah, her friend's gone.
Her name was Yuki, or Kana is her name, and Yuki
Kana's
was gone.
Girl, yeah. So they're a little sketched out about that, but they see the girls,
but they see the girls again. Yeah, they're like, "You want to go to the disco?" And he's like, "No, I just want to find my fucking friend, man."
Yeah, that's Josh, emo Josh, maybe gay.
They're about to leave. So that was another thing they said is that the script that they wrote was so homoerotic that they made one of the main characters like gay. That's why they made Josh like gay or like bi-curious, which ties into like how he treats the Dutchman the next time he sees him.
Yeah, he does. He touches them all weird.
Touches him, says nice things. So apologizes to him, because what happens? He leaves the bar because he's looking, because they can't find Oli, they can't find the friend. But they go. So the girls are like, let's go to the disco, and he's like, nah, I just want to find my friend. And
Jay Hernandez thinks about the titties. He's like, come on, bro, think about the titties. We
he,
gotta go.
He literally goes like, we can go to the next spot and we can not fuck these girls, or we can fuck these girls and we can go to the next spot.
Pretty much.
Just
Like we're only gonna be here once. He said something about that's when he said the thing about like I'm about to pass my bar exam and these are the days I remember,
Yes.
so I'm definitely fucking these girls.
These girls
so
are
let's
just
do
experiences. These
Yeah,
girls
exactly.
are, these girls are just on a checklist of things to
Yeah.
do. Drink beer, smoke weed, fuck some fucking European chicks, pass the
Some
bar
European
exam.
poontang.
Yeah.
So they
So
go
it is,
out.
and it's later that night when that's the reason Josh goes outside initially. I remember is the girl smokes that he's hooking up with, and he hates smokers.
He hates
This
the
is just
smokers.
another way to
Yeah.
sympathize with Josh.
And she says to him, "You want me to go with you?" He goes, "No." She goes, "Goodbye." And you're like, "Oh
Yes.
shit."
Yes.
enter
But
Kid
also, he's
Gang.
not into banging. Well, I mean, I guess he banged
He
her.
banged her.
They
Yeah.
bang.
I forgot
They
about
banged.
that. Because
He'll like
remember,
it.
Ricky Martin
they
style,
went
baby.
to
He gay too.
the brothel, and they all like were taking turns banging that one chick, and he did not bang her. But anyways, yes, I forgot.
Mhm.
So he left because she smoked and she was gross. Although I don't think that was it. I think he was more just sad. That
No,
Lily was
well,
gone.
he said earlier in the movie that he doesn't like
He didn't
smokers.
like girls who
I
smoked.
remember.
And then she was smoking, and he was like, "Oh, gross."
That was just a good way to get him to go away from her in a different
And
way.
go
for the
outside.
story.
That's when he runs into the Kid Gang, which love the Kid Gang.
So now,
Kid
now he
gang.
goes outside and he runs into the Kid Gang. Great.
and
gang.
then
Gang, gang.
and then it's the
The
creepy
candy
European
gang.
guy comes up and is like, "Yo, here's some candy, kids. Get out of
Yeah,
here!" And
the
then they all
bubblegum gang.
scatter. And
Yeah,
then
they look at him and they go bubblegum or whatever the hell whatever they
Yeah.
call it.
and that's when they go back and he buys the dude a drink. They
Yeah.
chat for a little bit. Things they almost
Touches his
kiss, but then
leg.
they don't. And then I think that's when they drug him. They
Sympathizes
drug him
with
later.
him. The guy sympathizes with him. He when he apologizes for freaking out at him, and he was like, he kind of he hints about I don't know. Well, he doesn't know. He's got a lot of depth for being a fucking slasher, murder porn movie, torture porn movie. It's got a lot of depth for a character, and the fact that they then just murk him is great. But they don't yet. He finally gets a call from Oli, and or do they still look for Oli? Because they go to the torture museum looking
Oh
for
no, yeah,
Oli.
they looked. That was that day. That was earlier.
So
in
they
the movie.
get a text from
They
Oli.
look around.
Yeah,
It's a headshot of him say, "I go home."
a headshot.
That's when we see the torture place. We don't see a lot of
Boom.
it, but it's like
So it's
a
a
guy
headshot
has
of Oli on the phone. Great cut
Yeah.
to then his face.
actual head. His
Just
actual
his
head's
head.
on the fucking on like a table or something, and then Yuki's in the background.
Yep, Dolly's
Yeah.
back to a guy walking toward Yuki with bolt cutters. And then
that's
the iconic shot of him
the
putting
toe.
Yep, the bolt
toe
cutters to the
shot.
toe, but we don't see anything. We never see that.
Well, it cuts and it's like then it's the Kana. Is that her name? And
Kana.
she's clipping her toenails
Yep,
right at
In
that
the-
cut. And I was like, that's
in the
a
middle
great
of
shot.
the lobby.
And we know
Yeah,
Tarantino
That's what
had
I
to be
thought
like,
too. I thought
if I'm producing a movie, we're getting
middle of the lobby.
I know, but
Oh, yeah.
Tarantino.
Tarantino said he loved that shot in the commentary.
Well, I'm sure Tarantino's
the
like, if
cut.
I'm producing a movie, we're getting toes in there. So it was Tarantino's idea, I think.
He kept calling it I can't remember what it's called. He kept calling it a certain type of cut that he was
Toe cut.
toe cut. No,
And
a cut
what you come like what I thought was interesting guys movie when I first saw the trailer for it or whatever didn't know anything about Eli Roth is that I thought it might be I don't even think I saw Cabin Fever. I think I thought it would be like it was just gonna be a scary movie, like a horror movie. And it's not a horror movie. It's just a gory fucking movie showing fucked up things happen. Like there's nothing really scary about it. You know what I mean? I guess the overall story is
Disturbing. more
terrifying if
so.
it happened to you, but
Yeah.
it's just a movie about fucked things, gross
disturbing.
things.
Yeah.
It's terrifying.
It's there. It's there to let you look at fucked up shit. That's the point of it. It's like people who want to look at fucked up shit. Here you go. It's like this is for you. I want to look at fucked up
This is a
shit.
Matt
Fucked up
Schwartz
shit's
kind of
fun.
movie.
It's torture
Fucked up
porn.
shit's fun.
It is
Yeah, it's
definitely
great.
torture porn.
If you watch you like Saw, you'll love this.
It's an American Takashi Miike. That's why he was in the movie. Of course. That's why.
Yeah,
that's why
I watched
guess
Ichi the
that's-
Killer a couple weeks ago. It was pretty great.
Yeah, those movies are fucked up.
Go on.
Didn't he do Old Boy?
Audition's crazy. No, that's Chan Park.
Yeah, it's John Woo Park, but
Oh,
Audition he did. Audition's great. You should watch Audition. Anthony. It's
Audition's
pretty
fucking
awesome.
Fucked up.
wild. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he did like 13 Assassins. We talked about that one.
Yeah.
and he's done some good samurai ones too. But he's Takashi Miike like leans into the gore, leans into the blood for sure.
Yeah. And he's been doing it for a while.
Mm-hmm.
He old.
So, the girls intervene. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Like
No,
No,
no.
where were we? I don't even remember
the
where
girls
we were.
intervene at the party. The Dutchman's talking to him, basically like kind of being like, "Yo, it's fun to be gay. Let's go bang somewhere." But the girl comes in and and drugs them. They drugs the boys,
Yep.
and this is the best part. Josh or no, what's the Jay Hernandez? Jay Hernandez walks in the back to go take a piss. Pax to go take a piss, and accidentally goes into like a storage closet, gets locked in there, and passes out because he's fucking drugged.
Door locks.
Door locks. The door locks. Get the door locks. What's that from?
Rolex behind him, classic. The
What's
door.
that from?
The Jurassic Park, right?
Yes. Get the door locks.
They figured out doors.
Josh wakes up in the dungeon, in the warehouse.
He wakes up with it's a camera with a fucking cloth over it or just a hood, and you see just a little. You see from his point of view, we hear the breathing, which is pretty awesome, and you just see this weirdo walk in this outfit, and then as soon as he pulls it off, it just cuts to a wide shot, which was pretty great. I like that. That was probably my favorite part of the movie, actually, when it comes to the filmmaking aspect.
Is Anthony frozen? Oh no, he's not
Okay.
frozen.
Oh, he's not frozen. He is having a brain fart though.
No, I thought you.
No.
Thought you. So he's in. Yeah, he wakes up. What is he doing? It's who is it? It's the fucking businessman. It's the nice guy.
I mean, I knew right
It's
away.
The
He
one
had, like,
nice guy.
He had a mask over his face,
Oh,
but I
did
could
he?
see his eyes, and I recognized the eyes. I recognized the eyes right away. I was like, "That's
The
that
hair,
dude."
the eyes. He's
Yeah.
Josh is handcuffed to this chair. This guy's just rummaging through tools on a table, and
This is a straight up torture chamber. It looks like there's been 80,000
Yeah.
people killed in there, and
It's
Josh is
gross.
80,000.
It's dark. There's holes in the walls. There's random pipes everywhere. There's steam coming out of the ground for some reason.
Yeah, it looks like it's a prison cell. Is what it looks like.
Dungeon-esque.
Yeah.
And I'm watching that scene right now. And so the first thing he does is he picks up drill and starts drilling holes in his body.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of tools. He eventually takes his mask off, and it's our guy, and he's got a scalpel in his hand.
This actually, this is with Josh right here. He's got blood coming out, but he also has green like mucus, there's a green coating of shit on his chest and on his face, and I think that's like stomach bile or something. I think that's from throwing up like as much as you possibly can, which is pretty crazy. That always grossed me out when I watch this movie. It looks pretty gross.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Cool. Pretty cool. Pretty gross.
He slices his fucking.
Well, hold on. He does something else, doesn't he? Oh no, he starts talking to him.
Doesn't specifically matter how he tortures them, but he tortures them.
Oh no, this is the part where I feel like this movie made its name on that fucking Achilles tendon part.
Oh yeah,
like that was the thing.
That's
like,
right.
That
That
was
was
the
why.
fucking
That's
thing.
why it was in my haiku. I mean like they because they didn't show the bolt cutter on the toe. They showed the bolt
and they
cutter
also
on the
don't
toe.
show. They don't show him cut the Achilles
They don't show
tendon.
cutting.
They just show him when he walks.
They
Oh
show-
my
Yeah,
god,
it
it
gets
creeps
up
me
and-
out
and
right
tears.
now. Yeah.
He
But he
slices a tendon, and then
Yeah.
he
So no,
died.
he teases him. He goes, "I want to leave." He goes, "Oh, you want to leave? Okay." So he fucking cuts it, and you know he's cutting something, but you don't see it. But you hear it's on Josh screaming. It's a close up or a medium shot of Josh screaming.
yeah.
Green bile and spit and blood is coming out of his mouth, and he's fucking
He said at one point the chair hit his foot, so some of those are like real
so
screams.
Yeah. And then he
And
lets
then-
he
so he
undoes
his
the
handcuffs,
cuffs, and then he says go,
and he
he
opens
stands
the door.
up. Oh, he stands up, and you see that he cut his tendons, and the shot is just
The shot.
a close up. With,
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't even know how to describe it.
It's
It's
just
just
like-
there's
I think
there's an important part of dialogue we gotta point in this scene though.
okay.
What's
Hit
that?
us.
Is the thing where he tells him, he's like, "I'll pay you more than whoever's paying you," or something like that. Josh tells him he'll like trying to get out of it. He tells him, "I'll pay you more than whoever's
Yeah.
paying you," and he's like, no one's paying me to do this. In fact, I'm paying, or
I'm the
something
one
like, or
who's
I'm
paying.
paying them, or so. That's an important part of like the whole
Yeah.
place.
Yeah.
He says
We'll learn more of
10
that.
times. So his tendons are cut. He falls on the ground. And he crawls toward the door. The guy slams the door because he can't make it. Pulls him up by his head, and then he says all that. He says, 10 times I'll pay you. And he's like, no one's paying me. I'm the one who's paying. And then he slices his throat.
Oh, okay.
And goes, bye-bye.
Yep.
Cut to Josh waking up. No, not Josh, but Paxton waking up in the closet. Now who's in the closet? And that's the cool thing. So he was wondering, Eli, when he was writing the story, we're on first name basis. He's like, he's like, the story's gonna go in and out of this dungeon, this warehouse of torture. How am I gonna get the characters in and out without it being like stupid? Without, if it's so dangerous and so like high class for rich people, how is it gonna be so easy for them to get out? And it was Quentin's idea. He said, do the fucking psycho switch, like follow one person, get them in there, get them killed, and then go back to the other person. So I thought that was, I think it's very, I clever. The way he solved that problem is very clever, and it was Quentin Tarantino's idea, of course. So yeah, now we're back.
Well, you know what it is about both those characters too, is that like Josh dying isn't really making the story not progress, because he didn't really like, he was just, the story was them getting pussy, and him dying doesn't make that.
It was,
Well,
but
he
cared
was the
about
one.
Josh.
He was the one we
liked Josh.
sympathized with. He was like the nice guy of the group.
Paxton was kind of a douchebag. Paxton was the one that was like, he was the one screaming, "We're Americans," blah blah blah. He was the one that was he was the antagonizer. He was along. Josh was just along for the ride in this journey.
Pax even said something. He looked at the TV. He's like, "How are they supposed to expect us to understand without subtitles? That's so gay."
Yeah,
He does say
yeah.
He says that. So kind of a douchebag. He even like when the creepy guy touches Josh on the train, he's like, "Hey Josh, you finally got some action on this trip." Now he's talking like a character from fucking Happy Days.
Yeah, he was very he was kind of the guy we didn't like, and the guy that we wanted to die, but he didn't die. The good guy died. And now we're following this guy, and now we're sympathizing with this guy, which is the best part. The guy we didn't want to follow, the guy that we didn't like. Yeah, he got us. That's why this movie's great. This movie's really good. Disagree? No? Agree?
No,
I agree.
I love this movie.
It's a good movie. Good
So
story.
now we're with him. So he's looking for his friends. What happens? I think on his way home, he might meet the kids. Meets the kid gang. They beat the shit out of him.
At one point, yeah, they like steal his phone or something. Because then I think he's looking for Josh.
Yeah, he's
the
looking
next
for
day.
Josh. He comes across the kids. They like
He
try to
almost kills
fucking
one of them.
take his phone, and he almost strangles one to death, and he lets him go when he realizes that he can't kill this fucking kid.
Yeah.
And then
He
he
goes to the cops.
sees that girl eventually somewhere, the girl, and he sees her walking in like a shitty part of town or something.
Yeah, that's right. He
Which
goes to the
girl?
cops, and then he sees,
Girl
and then
that fucked
he's walking
Josh.
through a really shitty part of town, and he sees like Svetlana or
Svetlana, yeah.
Well, first, does he go back to the hostel first? Because at first they tell him
Yeah, they tell him his room was checked out of his room.
Yeah, they tell him his room was
that
checked
he
out, and
needed
then
checked out.
that I like the part where he goes back into the room, and then different set of girls walk out, and they say like the same shit. They're like putting their shirts on, going to the spa.
Yeah.
Like then he's like, "All right, something's going on."
this is
And then
a
I think-
cycle.
Yeah, and then he finds the
machine.
girls, right? Then they take him to the place.
Yeah. He finds him at a bar, and he demands to know where Josh is. And they tell him he's at the art show. Another thing about this scene is that this whole time, these girls have, every time you see them, they look like fucking supermodels. And now they have no makeup on. They look like they're like high on fucking some sort of downer. And they're just literally drinking at a bar with this fucking ogre of a dude.
They have track marks on their arm and shit.
And that made me think, like, when I did from the scene before of these girls that just came in and said the same shit, is that like they do it in shifts. Like they did that, and they got these dudes, they got paid, so they'll probably like take time off, maybe like a month off, and then come back and do it again or something.
They got their
that's what I
money
thought
for.
about that.
They got that drug
makes
money.
sense.
and
Yeah, I
gonna
mean,
go be junkies
what they
for a
pay
month.
for American, you end up paying $25K for American. I'm sure like a couple, 3 or 4 of that probably went to them.
Oh yeah. Well, 10,000. Yeah, 10,000 for Americans. So yeah.
Oh yeah, she
Something.
says that, right? Yeah, but I
In
mean,
the
how much does
second movie,
she
we
get?
figure out how
You know what I
much
mean?
we see.
Yeah,
We see
but
a
I'm saying
list.
like she probably got a small portion.
Or
Of that,
no.
couple grand.
In this one, we see the list. I think we see it we see it on the back of a card, don't we?
Yeah, yep. I think
Yeah, that's right.
10 to 25,000 for American.
Yeah,
So
and
I
then we
thought
see
it was-
then we see like the bidding process in the second one.
Yeah,
They
which
get
is
more into
why
that
that's
stuff in the
right.
second one.
Those are starting bids, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I love about the second one is it goes to that side of it because that side of it's more interesting to me. Like I think
So-
like a story about the people who do it is cooler.
I don't think it was necessary, but whatever.
He
was
hold
great. It
on.
was a great way to
he
elevate it.
So he demands to see where he demands to tell them where they are. And they're like, all right, we'll take you to the art show. For artist, what is it for artist? Yes, exhibit. I love the way they talk.
And then the girl that he bangs doesn't get up, and he goes, "What? You're not coming?" And she goes, "I've already seen that show."
I've seen that show. Yeah,
Yeah, which was great. That was the equivalent of her going bye to
Yeah.
Josh. Yeah.
So it's Svetlana. Is that the one that takes her to the warehouse?
The one that Josh banged is the one that takes him.
So they go into this warehouse, like a giant warehouse, looks abandoned,
Hold on.
but a
You gotta
bunch
show
of
like the drive. You gotta go to the drive. It drives into this like real sketchy place, like middle of nowhere, industrial. It looks like
yeah.
fucking there's broke down factories, and the way it's shot, like from like the reflection in the fucking window, like looking around, it's like super sinister. It's
Yeah.
like something. It's like a place that you would never go, like purposely.
It's like
this
Chernobyl.
is a place.
It's like they
Yeah,
just
this is
drove
a
into
place you
Chernobyl.
stay away from. Like you're just
Like
creepy. You know
an
what I mean?
abandoned warehouse, middle of nowhere. pretty
Yeah,
much.
and then you just see a bunch of fucking old Russian dudes who look like they'll fucking kill you if you say a word
like
to them.
super mobby looking dudes, which I think was what like that's what it is. It's like Russian mob like comes in to the area, finds a good spot, and runs this gig for a while, or
It's some sort of gangsters, yeah.
well,
Well, no,
all
we
in
find
like
out in the
leather
second
jackets.
one. It's run by that old dude with the dogs.
Okay, yeah, he's Russian.
Yeah, we
just some
something.
sort of it's like a crime syndicate in some
Yeah,
sort
it's
of way.
syndicate. Good word. Crime syndicate.
As he's pulling up, he's walking up, and he sees this Asian guy walking out of the building. The guy's opening a door for him. He says, "Hey."
Because he's
As
still
in,
not
how-
sure what the fuck's happening here.
He doesn't know what's
he's
going
like,
on. He
he's
thinks
like,
it's
what
an
is
art
gonna
exhibit.
happen? And that's one of my
as far as
favorite-
he knows, it's an art exhibit.
Yeah, that's what's cool about this movie is that they pulled it off, and what you said before is like how they going to keep interesting and going back there. Like they just did it. They kind of did like Barbarian did it to where they showed you what was going on, and they showed you all different people's point of views of experiencing this same thing, which is really cool. And they did pull off that in a really great way.
The
'Cause
only one they
that's-
didn't show was like Oli's. We didn't see how
Yeah.
Oli got there, but we saw how we just saw everything
doesn't
go
matter.
down.
You know now he got
with
dragged there
them.
somehow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was the front desk lady.
Yeah. But I'm saying like he got drugged, and that dude who drugged fucking Josh there probably drug him there.
So he walks in. Everyone just seems super nonchalant about this guy coming in. Hey, how you doing? He sees like this kind of ticket booth taker. He goes, "What's up? Where am I going?" He's like, "Go that way." Follows Svetlana in there.
Well, no, he says to him how much. He goes, "For you, free."
Yeah,
Which
well,
was
because-
like you're like, oh shit, this dude's in trouble.
Yes, don't
Why
go
is he
in there,
going for
bro.
free? But the next shot is probably one of the nice, beautiful shots in the movie. It's the super wide shot of the giant abandoned building, which is a pretty dope shot. It's like super high up and super
Yeah,
wide, and it
as they're
shows like it shows the magnitude of like where they are, and like the fact when they walk into the dungeon part, it's like you would never know that existed in there. You know what I mean? It's
No.
like so huge. It's pretty cool.
And then what happens?
And then he goes in, he walks around, and he finds
he's
the
walking
dude
around. He hears
fucking
screaming.
operating on Josh.
Yep, and he walks in. He walks down to an open door. He looks in and he sees a guy operating on his friend, and it's the Dutch guy.
Yeah. It's the Dutch guy, and Josh is
Operating,
torn open,
yeah.
open. His fucking
Like an autopsy.
his fucking what bone is this?
Chest plate.
Your chest plate is torn. His
Burn
fucking
'em.
ribs are out, and he's just literally like sewing, like medically sewing, like
being
stitching
stitched
or
back
whatever.
together.
Yeah. And then this is where Josh turns around and looks at the girl, and he starts like, "Oh, you fucking bitch! What the fuck
Yeah.
you do?" And she goes, "Here." I think she tells him how much she got. She's like, "It's here. I got 5,000 for you." I
She
think that
goes,
makes you my bitch.
Yeah, he's like, I got a lot of money for you. That
Yeah.
makes you my bitch. And
Yeah,
then
and then he
two
gets-
dudes grab him, pull him into a room, strap him to a chair.
Yeah.
And I feel like we all know what's gonna happen from this point on.
And this scene is probably the coolest scene in the movie because this is like the thing about this guy who tortures him in this one is that you don't know this guy. So you have no idea who he is or where he's from,
Yeah.
no preconceived notions. And what he does is kind of interesting because instead of just going straight for it, like he calls the guy in and he tells him to fucking gag him and shit like that.
Well,
which leads to the which leads to the
hold
most
on.
gross
So
part.
he comes in. First of all, they drag him to this room. As they drag him to this room, you can see doors open. He's being dragged by one after another. People being torn open, people being burnt, people being dismembered. And so they take him into his own room, handcuff him to a chair, and shut the lights off. And this guy comes in, with another guy. Like the guard brings a skinny guy in, and he goes, talk. And he goes, and he doesn't talk. He goes, say something. He goes, what do you want me to say? And he goes, see, he's American. And he goes, okay, cool. And then he goes, this is the one time he's like, wait, hold on, look at me. I'm not American. I'm
American.
Mexican.
Yeah.
Look at my skin. And then he pulls his passport out and shows it to him. He goes, American. And because they want this guy, these people want to come and kill Americans. Like that's, I feel
Well,
like
so-
it's
So I listened to the thing with Eli Roth, and he was talking about how people claim that like, oh, it's movie's all violence. There's no substance to it. It's just you're making it. And he goes, I am, because this kind of violence is why you go see movies. Like the real violence is fucking George Bush and Dick Cheney fucking killing innocent people overseas and shit like that. Because
this movie was
came
rated
out when
R.
that was the big thing. And he was saying like that's the real fucking violence in the world. When people go see movies like this, it's because they want to see fun, fucking really gross things that make you fucking like quiver and shit like that. He's like, I love shit like that. It's like it's fun. And he's like that you go for an escape from the real world of the real horrors of the world, and you go to this fake horror, you know what I mean? Of this gross shit. Like that's that he said that's like the point of this movie.
Yeah, fake, or maybe like some like possibly a little more realistic than we wished.
I mean, I have no doubt in my mind because I know that human trafficking is real, that people do this. Like this is definitely real. Whoever like the people who actually do this are like, oh shit.
Well,
like,
he
this is
said
crazy.
that he read something about people that can go somewhere and pay money to just shoot someone in the head.
Sure.
Like he said that's where he got the idea for this whole thing.
Yeah, I believe it in some form. Shit does certainly exist like this. I think these movies take it to another level, and I think even like the second one expands on that, like the whole empire and almost like make a whole. I guess they make a business out of it, but like I think they elevate it in these movies. But I think in some way or another, there's the shit's out there.
Schwartz, how
For
much
sure.
money would it take for you to kill me?
How much
What do you
money
mean?
would
Why
you
would I kill
pay?
you?
I'm
to
just saying, how
kill?
much money would someone have to give you to kill me?
I wouldn't. Why would I kill you? You're my friend. Why would I kill you?
But like,
don't
if
see
someone was
why,
going to
like-
give you like $1 billion to
$1 billion? All right.
kill me,
Honestly, if someone said to me, "Yo, if you kill Anthony Islami, I'll give you $1 million," I'd be like, first of all, you don't have $1 billion, so you're lying. That's what I would say. So then next
George Bush, Bill Gates. He's the one.
I would say,
pissed Bill Gates
why
off.
do you want to give me $1 billion
banged
when you could give
Melinda.
someone like $100,000 who doesn't know him to do it?
I
I'd
finger.
be like- Anyway,
I mean,
if
now
someone
you're
offered me,
speaking
so all right,
logic.
let's go with that because like I don't know, let's go with logic a little bit. If someone said I'll give you $100,000 if you kill Anthony, I would say okay, and I would call you up and say, bro, we got to fake your death and we're gonna get $100 fucking grand. Like, we got to pretend to
That's
kill
not
you, we'll get
enough,
$100,000. What? If I said to you right now that at $100,000 was gonna fake your death, you wouldn't.
That
do
means
it?
I gotta
guess it's true.
disappear, dude.
You gotta disappear forever. You're right. That's not enough. So if it was $1
I
billion,
need
I
$1
would
million
call
on
you.
my own.
Yeah, you do. You need like to do that and to become a different person. That's a minimum like 10 mil right there. You need like 10 mil.
10 mil, yeah, 10 mil get me somewhere, and I never got to work again. I'm just living in a cabin.
10
in
mil,
the
you
woods.
could live in-
Probably
10
need
mil, you could live
25.
in a. No, you can go to fucking places with 10 mil like South America. Set
Oh,
up.
yeah, I
fucking
go to
compound
Argentina and live there
good.
for the rest of my life.
Yeah, you can set up a compound there.
Hitler
Have like
did it.
fucking huge house, huge ass house, fenced in. Get a couple armed guards. You'd be good. You'd be like John McAfee.
Yeah. Or who's the guy that was jacking it in San Diego?
Who the fuck? What is that?
That was what?
Jagging it,
What?
jagging it, jaggedy jack, jagging it, smacking it, smackety smack. You don't remember that?
That's South Park.
No.
But I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. The Coney incident. Remember the Coney incident?
Coney?
Guy was jacking it in San Diego.
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
No.
Google it.
Anyway, so
Google
go
it
back
right
to
now,
the
tell me
movie.
about
Where
it.
are we
A
now?
dude jacking off
So,
in San Diego.
Pax is now locked down to a chair. He's proven that he was American. This guy comes in. And like you were saying, it's a little off. He didn't go like it almost seems like he's like new at this. Like this is it, excuse me, his first time doing it. The guy like killing. And he stabs him, right? What does he do? He's like starts cutting
He
him,
has
starts
he
fucking
has
with
like
him
a little
bit.
tool that's like three. It's like a prong like this.
Oh yeah, and he
Three
just
like
prongs.
hammering him.
starts
Yeah.
hammering with it, and he
Yeah.
starts freaking out, and he says something in German. We learned earlier that Pax is fluent in German, and he speaks to him in German. He speaks back to him, and we don't know what he's saying, but it seems very heartfelt, and it seems like it's kind of getting to this guy, and it almost seems like this guy's like not going to go through with it, and he leaves the room and calls the guard outside and comes back, and we just see him kind of cowering at the door as the guard comes in the room and does something to Paxton and walks back out, and then the camera slides back to Paxton, revealing that all they did was just put a fucking ball gag in his mouth and then he what's the next thing? He pulls a chainsaw next, I think.
Yeah. Pulls chainsaw and he starts fucking
So the
like
guy
rubbing it at his head and shit. And Paxton's like,
What's
kind
up?
of
Part of his
starts like
hand.
super getting off on freaking him out, and then he starts puking, which is one of the greatest.
He starts
really.
choking on his own fucking puke. It's so bad. And then when he takes the gag off, it all comes out.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
so the guy puts
disgusting.
the chainsaw down and takes the gag off of him. Puke goes everywhere, and then the guy picks the chainsaw up again and swings it and cuts his hand in half, which frees him. He like headbutts the guy or something, and then
No,
fights
the guy slips on the blood. And
him.
then,
He slips on the ball gag.
And then
he slips on the ball gag.
Oh, that's right. And then
Paxton
he
gets his hand
drops the
sliced off.
Cartoon
chainsaw.
style, like a goddamn
Yeah.
banana leaf or whatever.
Yeah.
Banana peel.
Drops the chainsaw. The chainsaw starts cutting the dude in half.
Yeah, but
Starts
it
cutting his
gets
own
Paxton,
leg in half. Yeah.
It cuts
that's
Paxton's
that's
fucking
right,
hand
like-
off.
It
Well,
does,
he
it does,
he
yeah.
cuts Paxton's hand off, and then he trips, and
Mhm.
then that's how Paxton gets out of the restraints.
Yeah, that was
'Cause he
was
doesn't,
pretty dope.
you know,
That was pretty
half
cool.
a hand.
That was great. Yeah. He picks his
Somehow
fingers.
gets the gun. Shoots.
Yeah, he kills the guy, picks his fingers up, and gets the fuck out of there.
No, he doesn't get the fuck out of there
He puts on a
yet.
jacket.
He calls in the security guard. The security guard comes in, then he shoots the security guard as well.
You're right.
And then that's when he does the old steals the costume gag.
Yeah,
took
he
the
puts on
costume
the
of
butcher, like a
of
butcher's
yeah.
costume. Puts his fingers in his pocket, puts on like a Viking helmet, and then proceeds to try to escape, machete in hand. Goes into like a filing cabinet closet. Now people are onto him. People see what's going on. Somebody's he goes into a closet with like just a bunch of dead bodies everywhere. Oh, his friend. He sees his dead friend there, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He's like on a gurney stacked with a bunch of other like corpses and shit. He like hides in there.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
a
then he
guy
sees someone
opens
come
the
in
door.
the room,
Yeah.
and somehow he gets under there, which never would have happened. that
Whatever.
fast,
Yeah.
but he's
We're
under- No, that's what
we're
I'm
in
saying.
Scooby Doo
That's what I'm
world
saying.
at this
That's what I'm
point. This
saying.
is
Like
like
Scooby-Doo,
Scooby Doo
yeah,
logic.
Yeah.
So he's underneath all these dead bodies playing possum as this like crazy
Ogre. Looks like
ogre
an ogre.
looking dude comes in. The butcher
Starts
comes
chopping
in,
and
starts
chopping
pulls
up
him to
fucking
a
body
different
parts.
room. Pulls him into an elevator. They go down this creepy elevator where this hand falls off, and like blocks him from rolling the gurney any further, which is pretty funny. He starts chopping bodies up, and I don't know. One thing, how did he gets out? He sneak attacks him and knocks him out, kills him with a
He
hammer.
shoots him. I think he kills him with a hammer.
Yeah, he hits him with the hammer. So he gets out of there. I think he makes it to a car by this point, doesn't he?
No, how the fuck does he get out of there?
Yeah, and eventually he does
He
make it
gets
to
on
the
the
car.
elevator. Oh no! So he gets on the elevator and then he makes it to the dressing room.
Yeah,
And that's so he goes in there. He
he
like
meets the
in there. There's a shower. He like changes clothes. He
right.
finds like there's like clothes. There's
Someone's suit.
lockers. People
Yeah.
have like changed their clothes there. There's lockers everywhere. There's suits. So he cleans all the blood off his face. Changes into a suit. Puts a glove over his fucked up hand. He doesn't have his fingers anymore. The butcher got his fingers. And right as this is where he sees the card that the Dutchman gave him before.
Yeah,
but on the
which
back,
has the symbol of the dog on it, the hound on it, which I think is the first time you see that. Yeah.
But didn't we see him give the card to them like before in the train or something?
They did. You're right. Yeah.
So in this, it's the same card. So he found that in his pocket. So does he have the businessman suit?
I think so.
Right,
Yeah, because
yeah.
he's wearing some guy's suit from the.
suit.
Yeah, he stole someone's suit from the.
And they all have the same card, but this one on the back it says 5,000 Russian, 10,000 European, and 25,000 American. And so those are the prices. Now we see what the fuck's everything's kind of aligned. We see what's going on now. People are being lured in for a price for these rich people to come in. This is where this guy comes in and kind of explains everything, right?
Yeah, he asked him to see his tattoo because you got to get tattooed to be in this club, and that's when that's the thing. Like you realize that not only are people paying to do this, but like this is like a prestigious thing. Like to get into this, this is like a thing people do. It's like it's like a club. It's like you're cool if you do this. You know what I mean? Like if you just want to kill people, you can.
Yeah, because this guy in the locker room's talking to him like he's
Not
like
you have to.
It's very locker room style talk. He's like, hey, yeah, what are you gonna do? You gonna do this to him? Or you gonna do that to him? What kind of person are you paying for? Oh, you're paying top dollar for this?
American,
cool.
top dollar.
Yeah, like all like big dick talk.
Yeah.
He's like, I've been
and then
working
he asked him to see his tat. He was like, let me see your fucking
Yeah.
tattoo. We're brothers now. We're part of the club.
Yeah.
And then he goes to grab it, and then there's a knock at the door. It's the guard. He's like, come on, hurry up. And then he goes, all right, I'll be there in a minute. And then he starts going into like how he's going to do it. And he's like, should I do it quick? Should I do it with a thing? Should I do it? And he takes the gun out and like points at him and shit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's just a
Actually,
dude who looks like he's
just
do
a
it
fucking
quick.
douche.
Yeah. But you know what? Like this dude
Jeremy
to me
Piven could have
is
played this guy.
Oh, he totally could have. But it's interesting.
I thought
'cause, like,
Rob Riggle.
seeing another fucking person there who's like paid to do this. Like, because everybody's got to have their own reason. There's got to be something in someone's life or something that they did this, something like that. And like, I think like getting into that is pretty interesting. Like why people would do this, like they do like the enjoyment of it, or like if they had to do
I've
it.
traveled
Like,
the whole world. Pussy's pussy. This
yeah,
this is something different.
yeah. That shit's crazy. Like that's wild.
So
Paying to kill somebody is like in a situation to where like you got to get a tattoo because people. That's the thing though. That's another thing about the tattoo is like, what if some people end up knowing what the tattoo is and they know that you fucking killed somebody? Like that's pretty crazy.
then those people either have to be the people that know what the tattaoo
So
is
if you
have
know,
either
you know.
killed or they're dead.
Yeah.
Except
guess so,
for
yeah.
Because we learn
except
more about
for
it in the
Jay.
second one.
and
that's
then so anyway,
You're right.
He's talking to the guy. The guy's like, should I do it quick or should I not? He's got the gun and he goes, no, you should do it quick. And he goes, yeah, I should do it quick. And just no, fuck that. I'm gonna fucking do it slow or whatever. And he throws the gun. Jay now has a gun. Jay's leaving, gets his way, makes his way all the way out, finds a car, and then he hears his friend Kana screaming in the back. Not his friend, but now his acquaintance. And he does the classic thing. He's gonna go back and save the girl. Goes back, busts into this guy. I guess this is probably the grossest scene. Busts into the same guy he was just talking to with a blowtorch in his hand. He's like, "Yo, get out of here! I paid for this." Blowtorching Kana's face, her eyeballs hanging out by like a literal string. He
Very
shoots him.
trauma, Toxic Avenger style. Reminded me of Toxic Avenger.
Yeah, I don't know what the Toxic Avenger is.
Whatever. Trauma horror movies. Go on.
So he shoots the guy, takes some scissors, cuts her eyeball off, which I guess was the best move.
The green ooze.
This show is so fun.
Man,
I know. I like. Was that fucking necessary? Jesus Christ.
Was it necessary?
It's
I don't
definitely
know.
necessary.
At that point,
It's definitely necessary.
oh boy. Cuts it off. doesn't wrap her head. He's got like a scarf around his neck. I don't know why he didn't wrap it around her face, but they get the fuck out. They get in a car. They get out of there. They're proceeded to be chased by two of the guards in a car. They are stopped. Or no, first they're stopped behind a van. When the van moves, it reveals Svetlana and Natalia and Alexei.
Alex. Yeah.
Yes, I don't think we knew that Alex was in on it until here. All of them look pretty good at this point. Alex doesn't have his big old fucking herpes on his lip anymore. And at this point, he puts it in drive and he rams them and just murks all three of them in one go. And then, except for one of them still alive in the car, and then the Russians come through and finish her off.
Yeah, smash him good.
And then they're stopped again. Smashed her real good. And then they're stopped again, which at this point I'm like, they have got to have caught up by now, but they're stopped again by the kid gang, the bubblegum gang. And so on the way when they were going to the art show, the
hold on though, we gotta talk about the yeah, go ahead. All right. We gotta talk about the kids a little more though.
The little girl, or I mean the girl Natalia or Svetlana, she pulled a giant bag of candy out from that the driver had, and she was eating some candy out of that. So that's in the car that they just stole. So they pull up to this kid's, and it just cuts to this giant bag of candy on the ground. And then it just cuts back to this kid sitting up with giant bag of candy next to him. This kind of the leader, eating a piece of bubble gum, divvying out candy to people. And then what do you want to say about the kids?
These kids are a gang. Like, they're killers. They're like thieves. Like they'll do whatever. Women
and
men,
the Dutchman early on,
like,
when he said that he said that the kids are the most dangerous people in this town because they don't give a shit. Yeah, and they don't work for it seems like everybody, including the cops. We see the cop that he talked to at the warehouse. Like, even the cops are kind of in on this cartel situation going on, but the kids, they're the only ones that don't give any fucks.
Yeah, they're just doing whatever, raping and pillaging.
Yeah, then they kill the dudes.
Yeah,
they kill the dudes.
The
the next
gangsters
car.
pull up. The kids stop them. They get out and they start yelling. And
shit, dude, that's what you get for a bag of candy. That's a good fucking deal.
That's the last thing that those Russians did. That their lives were worth a bag of candy. I mean, brutal head smashes with brick head smashes. Foot stomp, head smashes, skull caving in. Great death for people that we do not like. They're still. We cut back to the couple in the car. They're driving. Her eyes bleeding. They're in like they're stopped in line like a checkpoint.
They're going to a train station.
Yeah, they're going to a train station. They're stopped at a checkpoint. Cops are checking all the cars, so they ditch the car. Go to the train station. Cops everywhere. Cops all over the train station, and the Russian dudes at the train station who are talking to the cops. We're in cahoots, so to speak. But they got this. Jay and the girl are trying to sneak in. They're going to sneak on the plane. I'm on a train, and kind of walking by a post, like a bulletin post, sees her reflection in the glass. And decides at that point that she's going to kill herself. Jumps in front of a train.
Oh yeah, she looks bad.
She looks real bad. She's not doing. Now at this point, let's be honest. She's not doing too good.
She gonna die, or she gonna have to wear like a mask.
Fan of the opera stuff. Oh man, she looked bad.
She's got to wear like.
I think it's just her eye though. It probably just has to have an eye patch.
No. She's gonna have a lot.
I think those burn marks are gonna heal. I mean, she is a little Freddy Krueger-ish at a certain point.
She's a mess. She's a mess.
So she Hari Curries.
So
she Hari Curries herself.
Yeah. Which I just watched episode. I'm on episode 6 of Dragon.
That's another talk. Let's not even get into that. That's another talk. We'll go all fucking night if we start talking about that.
She jumps in front of the train, which gets the attention of all the cops and gangsters, which that actually allow me. She sacrifices herself for Pax.
Preston.
I don't know if she sacrifices herself, but that cause a
was not going to be
distraction.
able. He was not going to be able to get away without her. I feel
I
like
think she was like, I'm out. Fuck this. I look like
What,
that.
just
I'm
'cause
not
she's
gonna
so
live.
ugly?
Yeah.
It's
And in true Japanese form, she kills herself to save herself from embarrassment. Harakiri, dude.
okay.
This is what
Well,
happened.
I think-
Culture.
I think
This
at
is
least-
culture.
I think at least in her mind, she was
she didn't
thinking,
want to
"I'm gonna
live.
help. I'm
She
gonna
didn't want to
help."
live, and yeah, I agree with both of you. But she definitely didn't want to live with what she looked like. That's the core.
So he
of
gets
it all.
away.
Two
He gets
birds,
away
one stone.
scot-free. He's in the train. He's out of here, and he's chilling, taking a nap, and he hears none other than the Dutchman in the back of the train saying the same bullshit about having to eat with your hands because you got to get close to nature, blah 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 blah. So he's like,
He's
oh, okay,
scouting, dude. He's scouting for
Scouting.
people.
Trying to fuck some other boys.
scouting. This motherfucker scouting.
Which is
Yeah, trying to fuck some
crazy.
boys, trying
That's a movie in itself, just about this guy.
playing
scouting.
with their peckers. So Pax follows the Dutchman to the train station, bathroom where the Dutchman's going to go number 2. He as he's going number 2, what does he do? Does he start like pissing on his foot or something?
No, he holds the card.
That's right, he throws the card down
under the thing, and then he goes. Then the dude goes to reach for it. Then he grabs his hand and cuts
and he
his
goes,
fucking
"Oh no!"
fingers
Cuts
off.
his fingers off.
Yeah.
He
Finger
should have
for
taken
fingers,
those
dog.
fingers and like
Fangs
taken
for
to the
fangs.
hospital and be like, "Yo, here they are." And they're like, "Yo, these are not your fingers, dude." Like, whatever. Sew them on.
Where'd you get these fingers?
Yeah, kicks the door open, Van Damme style, and then proceeds to drown him in his own. What I think he was already pooping, so drown him in his own poop. I'm sure he got a turd in the mouth, like he's bobbing for
Mhm.
apples.
Oh, I hope so.
And
Fuck
then
him.
he slit his throat, and then walked out, and then that
Shot,
was it.
train,
Gets
going
on a
away.
train, falls asleep on the train. The
Train.
end of the movie.
Crane up as the train leaves, same as Harry Potter.
Yeah.
They rented. They were like, "Listen, for this
Try to
crane up, we
troll.
need
It
the Harry
drives into
Potter
sunset.
crane."
No,
need the Harry
actually, he
Potter
drives. He wakes up now. Then on people, he falls asleep on the train. Next shot is him waking up. People are waking him up. Hey man, you don't look too hot. You look like your fingers just got cut off. We're taking you to a hospital. They take him to a hospital. Before we get to the hospital, there was alternate ending for the first one. Did you know it is?
I think I did know.
I read
that, but I don't
about it.
remember it.
About him finding the Dutchman's daughter
Really?
Yeah.
and then holding her until like he got home, or he called him on the phone and be like, "I have your daughter," and then he's like, "No," and he's like the one thing that he actually cared about, and then he slit his daughter's throat.
That's interesting. That's
It's
a little
pretty
too
wild.
much, but it's
Pretty wild
interesting.
ending.
Yeah, I'm sure that's why they changed it because
Yeah, it's
that
just
is a
on
bit
the
much.
DVD.
He like can go
killing
through a lot
kids
less
into,
just
like-
to kill him though. Like,
If
he just
they
killed him real quick.
he said if they weren't gonna if there was no like prowess for a sequel, that's how he would have ended it. But also well, probably not. Actually, I take that back. I don't know if that's exactly what he said, but he was like that was one of the reasons. But he also said that they just they couldn't see Jay doing that. They couldn't see Paxton doing that.
I'm just
Yeah, that's
crazy
weird.
that I guess realistically it'd be like weird that he would have done that. I would have just. I guess his attempt is to save more people, but to me it's like I'd be so fucking traumatized. I'd be like, I gotta get the fuck as far away from this guy as possible. Let him go. I'm gonna keep going on this train. So. 'Cause
So
it was-
he's on. So that's not the ending. So this
Yeah.
ending, the real ending, was he passes out on the train, and then he is woken up by people on the
This is part 2. It
on the other
starts.
side. We are in part 2.
Yeah.
And so he goes to the hospital and he's talking to a doctor and a nurse about like, oh no, it was like an inspector, like the FBI,
Like a
of
detective or
France.
something. Yeah.
I think they're actually in Prague now, and
Okay.
which is where they shot this. What happens? What does he do?
They ask him about what happened at the train station, if he had anything to do with it, and they ask him what happened to his hand and all that shit, and he tells them all about the hostel and like what happened with the girls and all that things, and they're like, all right, what? I don't think they really take him that serious. Like they think he's like making shit up, or
he tells
they're-
them
I
about the
don't know if they're a
tattoo
part of
and
it.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And
then the guy
then
goes, "Oh,
they
you mean a
dismiss it.
tattoo like this?"
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then he wakes up from a dream, right?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then they kill him. Then he wakes up from a dream and
Yeah.
now he's there and like he's he's got a wife, he's got kids. I don't know if he's got kids, but
got a
she's
girlfriend.
like,
She's
oh,
just
you
a
got
girlfriend or something.
you
Yeah,
got
just
another
some
bad
girl.
dream. He's like, yeah, I got another bad dream. And he's like, I'm gonna go downstairs and eat some cereal. And he goes downstairs and she walks downstairs and he's decapitated and he's dead. And that's the end of Jay.
It's a
Yeah.
great opening. That's
a
such a great opening.
Great way
It's
to open
so
it.
good because he
Um,
psychoed us again. He's like, you know what? Do it again.
Dude,
Doubling
you know what?
down.
Do it. Hey, do
Dude,
it
yeah. I guarantee you,
again.
he's like, Quentin, how do I do it in this one? And Quentin just goes,
Do it again.
Do it
He's
again.
like, all right. Just because if Quentin Tarantino says it to you, you just do it. You got to do it, right? I mean, if I said it to you, you'd be like, you're an idiot. But if Quentin Tarantino says it
That's
to
the
you,
whole
like,
reason he
yeah,
did
duh.
Hostel. He was like, because he
Yeah.
was saying, like, should I do these movies? And Quentin said, if you do those movies, I'm not going to watch them. If you did Hostel, I'll watch that. And he was like, when Quentin said he's not going to watch my movie, I was like, well, I'm not going to make that movie then.
Yeah.
I'm not going to make a movie
Yeah.
Quentin Tarantino's not going to go see.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
what are you gonna do? Hostel or I Know What You Did Last Summer 3? It's like, yeah, you can fucking
Yeah.
your own movie.
I got to pee. You want to start? Continue?
Yeah,
on
yeah,
Hostel too?
So Paxton's dead, and it cuts to. So what happens is, his girl wakes
The
up.
girls,
She goes
yeah.
downstairs the next morning, and he's in the kitchen, and his head is missing. He's just fucking
Yes.
the cereal's on the fuck. He was eating cereal, and his head's just gone. And I think the cat is eating.
The cat's
his
licking his decapitated wounds. Yes,
Head. Yeah, which is
but his
awesome.
head's missing. His head's not there.
Yeah.
And
Cut
then
to
is it just a cut
guy
to
driving on a motorcycle. Super cool shot
that's
of
right.
a high speed motorcycle on a cool fucking highway.
reminded
and
me
it
of the
pulls
Under the
up-
Skin.
Yeah, 100%. Same kind of shot, same kind of everything.
Yeah,
And then it pulls up to this like dope fucking like town square of like a fucking really cool European city, and you take all these fucking well-to-do fucking mafia-looking motherfuckers are sitting there drinking fucking tea and sipping on shit, and the hounds are there. You recognize they got the hounds from the tattoo, and you're like, oh shit,
Yes.
these must be the fucking dudes. You know, this is
These are
the
the
head honcho.
hounds.
These are the hounds. And he gives them the fucking package, or I think it's a box, and he looks in it and he goes, good job, and it's the fucking the head of
Paxton's
the
head.
fucking Paxton's head.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
then I think after that it cuts to the girl, right?
yeah. It cuts
main
to
character.
Now we get to the main
Oh,
characters.
so hold on, but before we go for there, so that's when you realize that this guy is probably the leader of it all, or the guy, one of them,
With
and
the
they
dogs.
got revenge. Yeah, because the dogs, exactly.
Yeah,
They got revenge for him killing the dude on the train, because that dude was probably part of it. You know what I mean? He's probably one of the dudes.
yeah, or maybe just escaping. We don't really know for sure, but
I think it's a little bit of both, honestly.
yeah,
Because you have to. He said that, like, if you have to kill, you will come to realize that if you get that tattoo and you experience that place, you either kill or be killed. That's it. That's the only reason why you're there. You're there to kill somebody, or you're there to be killed. And you gotta do one or the other.
You know,
like
once
he said.
once you sign
Yeah.
up for the deed, there's no going back. Like you
Yeah.
can't.
And that
say,
happened. You
"I
usually
don't
see
wanna
that.
do it anymore."
So
Mhm.
yeah, then it jumps to the girl. What is she doing? I don't even remember.
they're
What
doing
are we
they're doing the art
Painting.
class. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So this is
So you
a
realize that-
slightly different take. This is a group of girls opposed to a group of guys. They're doing more like artistic stuff. They're not just there to get fucked up and party. One of the girls in the group is pretty, typical. Like one of the girls is like a party girl. One of the
These
girls
three
is
these
more
three actors
nerdy.
are great though.
And then then there's another girl that's kind of just like middle ground.
Yeah,
These three actors are great though. They're all different. They're all got their own little like, style. Like they're the chick who played the one who's kind of like the rowdy one, Bijou Phillips. She's been in a lot of great movies. She's been in a lot of good shit. She was in
Oh,
like a movie
Bijou.
Bully. She was in she's been in a couple things. I can't remember off the top of my head now, but she's a good actress. And the main girl I've never seen before though. I don't think I've ever seen her since either.
Roger Bart.
Lauren German.
Oh, Lauren
Beth.
German.
Roger Bart.
She was
I don't
actually in the
think that was
Texas
her.
Chainsaw Massacre 2003.
Oh shit.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Credited as a teenage girl. So
Oh shit. Big part.
memorable.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
she's,
Is that what she is in Texas Chainsaw Massacre? Is that what it
I'm
says?
looking at her IMDb.
I just
Teenage.
hovered over
Her top 4 that she's known for are Hostel Part 2, Beth, The Divide, don't know what that is, as Eva, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Teenage Girl, and then A Walk to Remember as Belinda.
The
Didn't
other
remember that.
teenage girl.
Yeah.
And the
So
third
good.
girl is Heather Matarazzo, who is
I see
famous
her and stuff
as
randomly.
Lily in the Princess Diaries and Princess Diaries 2, A Royal
Yeah, she was in
Engagement.
something else too.
She was in The Devil's Advocate.
She was in The Devil's Advocate. That's right. She was the girl who
That's
lies
right.
on the stand,
She
or
was
no,
in
tells the
Scream
truth on the
3.
stand. Yeah.
Oh, and Welcome to the Dollhouse. That's a fucking
Yeah,
weird ass
she's
movie.
in that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew she was in something
But
strange.
She's a Disney girl.
three great actors though. Three very different, very distinct actors, which I thought was good. Like their characters were cool. They're very cool characters. Way more interesting than Josh and Paxton right off the bat, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I just
For
because
sure.
you know what's coming here. You know what's coming. The fact that with the experience it from the female point of view now, it's to me the stakes were raised and it was just different because the way that you lure them are different. The way that the way that people are going to treat them are different, and it's more interesting. Like that's why showing the other side, which I thought was awesome, showing the people who are bidding on this and how it's just the people who decided to follow are two people who are just kind of like well off to do and have a fucking regular everyday 9 to 5 type of life, a little boring, not really excited, cheat on their wives all the time, do a lot of drugs, do a lot of fucked up shady shit, and then they're get the ability to do the ultimate thing, which is kill somebody, and they get it. And then like the one guy's all about it. Like the fucking, are they brothers or are they just friends? That's what I can't figure
They're
out.
just,
Still.
I think
They're
they're just
just
friends.
coworkers,
or
friends.
colleagues or something.
All right.
Yeah, we
So
meet them
start-
eventually.
Eli Roth said that he wrote those two as Paxton and Josh
Older.
if they had never like went on that vacation.
Okay.
Like
So
they're
Josh-
in
so
at
at heart, Josh was a terrible person.
That's clever.
yeah, Josh is like he would, you know,
The guy at the end.
he's gay, but he's in this like loveless relationship, and Paxton is this kind of super rich lawyer dude that has done it all now and is just kind of over everything and wants to kill somebody. And he's like luring his friend in. Same thing. He's like, because in the first one, it's like Paxton is like, come on, we're gonna go do this, and this, and he just kind of brought his friend along. And it's the same thing for that. Is like, you know, I'm gonna go, you're gonna come do this. Like people, I loved how later on when they're when he's like they're going for a jog, and his like justification as to why he wants to do it is he's like, you know, like when you meet someone who's killed a guy, he's like, you could tell, you could see it in their eyes. He's like, I want to have that in my eye. I thought that was kind of sick, but also like, yeah, I mean, I don't not get that.
See, honestly, these are the guys that kind of lose it for me with this movie because I mean, I guess I'll get a little ahead of it, but
Well,
like,
you want to see how we.
their intentions like switch so randomly almost.
What do you mean?
Well, I think it's just. Well, are we gonna go
They're
there,
there
or
for
should we
one-
go? Or
Oh,
should
oh,
we? Or should
well,
we go?
yeah.
Well, he's talking about how like they
get there.
change. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
Sorry.
start
So
with
how
the
do
girls.
how do we meet? So what happens with the girls? They're painting. They paint the dude, then they paint the girl. The girl comes out, and after they're about to leave, she says, "Hey, can I?" The model comes
It's
out. And she says, "Hey, can
just
I
your
see the picture?"
classic Svetlana or whatever. One
Oh,
of those.
she's more beautiful than the first.
Is she the same girl later? Is it the same girl? I thought it was a
Yeah,
different girl they were
same
talking to at
chick.
the beginning. Okay, I didn't realize.
Same chick.
Okay, because
So
they
she's the
see her
model.
layer on
Her
the
name is
train.
Excel.
Because it's similar to the first one, how they like encounter some creepy dudes on a train and then they like run and hide. And then what is a twist is that this other girl, they find her, she finds them, and you know they invite her to hang out with them, and like she tells them about the spa, and she tells them about Slovakia. You know, go to this hostel, go to the spa, Slovakia, similar to like the guy they met in the first one, similar to the hot girls in that one. Yeah. So
yeah, but listen, it's still a hot girl. That's the funny part. It's still a hot girl seducing these girls, which is funny.
Yeah.
They're not using dudes, which I thought was awesome.
It's,
It just shows, like, the
it's more of
difference.
like, yeah, I
Well,
trust. It's more of a
they only got
trust
girls.
factor. Yeah, they only
That's
got
the
girls.
best thing about
And
this
they're not-
one is it is girls, and you have to, like you were saying, you
Yes,
have to lure her
experience it
different
differently.
ways.
Little
Like
different
they're not
perspective,
just
yeah.
gonna be like, yo, you
Yeah.
want some dick, you want
Yeah.
some nice long
You know what
European-
I think it is to me.
Yeah,
that
they're
way,
not.
too, is
They're
that-
not there to party and get laid like the guys were. They're there for the arts. They're there for the culture
gotta
of Europe. They're
seduce
there
'em.
for
You
the
gotta
spas
do
and the
some.
relaxation of the vacation.
Sure. And I also think like we would experience it like the first movie, and the fact that like we wouldn't experience it like this movie to me is what makes it more interesting. Like I think seeing something that I wouldn't experience, that I wouldn't seen before is a little bit more fun to me. And of course, the flip side, which happens here, which it cuts in the middle of them agreeing to, they meet her on so this girl offers to buy the fucking picture that she fucking did of her, and then she invites her to come to a place. She's like, no, we can't come. We have a thing planned. And she gets on a train. They get on the train, and she ends up being there. And she's like, hey, you inspired me to take a trip.
That's right.
And I'm gonna come trip with you. And that's when you know as a viewer that this girl is one of those people, and she's trying to lure them. Like you know that right there, and you're like, okay, that's what's going on here. You're like, cool, we get it.
Yeah, because they're on their way to Prague, and then instead of going to Prague,
there's some sort of sexual thing she's trying to do. Like if this main chick wanted to kiss her, she totally kiss her. She can do it that way, or she could do it this way. She can be your friend, or she could be your lover. It's probably easier if you're the lover rule, because it's just easier to probably convince anybody. So she decides that obviously it's not the lover rule. So she take him to this great spa, and they also go to a town to where you find that there's a party that night. And actually no.
Village
so wait, we gotta talk about the dude's bidding. So after they agree to go to the spa, they say, okay, fine, we'll go to the spa that you know, and she gets them to do it. It intercuts with her texting the people and telling them that they got three American girls, and they start the company,
they get to the hostel.
Yes, you're right.
And when they're checking in,
and
they start getting the bidding
clerk from the first movie. And he says the same shit, I think, to
which
him.
Which room do you want?
Yeah, a classic clerk thing to say.
This is your room or whatever.
And he goes, I need your passports. And then so now this is the first time. So in the first movie, we don't know what's going on. We're kind of learning it with them. Now we know what's happening. Now we know exactly what's going to happen to him.
Yep.
So we see the journey start with the passports. He takes the passports down to the
photocopies them,
makes copies of them, scans them into the program, sets the bidding price, and send. And then
it starts showing you all these different
with these cool
and this is where to me
scammy businessmen.
Like to me, this is what I like about this one more than the first one. Is it shows you this side of it, and it shows you how because the 6 or 7 people that it cuts through the bidding war are all different walks of life people. You got the rich businessman on the beach rubbing fucking oil on the hot young woman. You got the dude at breakfast with his wife and kids who's probably well off, not like the other businessman, but makes $300 or $400 a year and lives a nice quaint life. You got fucking a dude.
I feel like they all have to be.
They all seem pretty much on the richer side,
they're well off. Yeah, they're well off people. But $25,000, that's not that much money. To a rich person, if you have $300,000 in your name, you can pay $25,000 and not think a fucking thought of it. You don't have to be a millionaire to fucking spend $25,000. You know what I mean? You buy a fucking car, you might spend $20,000. You know, $25,000 is not going to break you if you have that kind of money. You know what I mean? That's not that much. So they're not, they're well-off people. They're people. But I mean, to get invited to that though, invited to that thing, you have to be on a list of people who probably can be trusted in a way. So most people who have money, lots of it, are kind of running that circle of hush hush. You know what I mean? You don't say anything.
Trusted to a certain point, but once you sign up for this, it goes beyond trust.
Yeah. I feel like some people don't know that going in, because I think this dude learns that, obviously. But yeah, so it shows all these people, and it's just showing them go through the bidding war. But as this bidding war is happening, it shows the girls having fun. They're all going through the spa, and they're having a nice time, and they're checking in, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna do this, yeah, we're gonna do that, and then it cuts to them chilling right after the montage.
With scissoring and hanging out and doing.
No one scissors. Oh. No one scissors.
No one scissors. Imagination.
Yeah, that was your hopefulness.
Up here they did.
Oh man. So yeah, they're walking around, I think, and they realize that there's a festival that night. They're like, all right, we got to go to the festival.
They were just checking into they passed the same Pulp Fiction playing on the thing.
Yeah, they did. They passed.
It was a lot of the same beats as the first one at this point.
It's perfect, because it just means it's showing you the process. You're just showing it's a machine that just keeps pumping these people in and out. Like Schwartz was saying, I didn't even think about those chicks were just off. You know, they were just on a it wasn't their turn right now.
Yeah, they made couple grand each, and now they're just chilling for a bit and gonna go back to it later, because they got to stay out of there probably. Who knows? Who could have? You can't just always be there, otherwise it's too obvious. You know what I mean? You got to take some time off and then go back.
So we
I
see
mean,
him bidding.
it's obviously a fucking well-oiled machine.
We see our main dude, Todd. We see him win the bid. While he's playing
Yeah.
golf with a couple of Asian, I'm assuming
Yeah, this
businessmen.
dude just looks like a businessman. He's like a fucking
Yeah.
salesman of some sort.
So yeah,
Totally macho
It
kinda
shows
guy.
him and his best friend Stuart. They win the bid for Whitney and Beth, and they're traveling
Yes.
to Slovakia. Cut back to Whitney, Beth, and Lorna. I think this is where they meet the Bubblegum Gang for the
Yeah,
first
I think
time.
they do.
Bubblegum Game's
Yeah, they're
back,
walking through the
baby.
streets, and yeah, they just happen to run into the bubblegum gang. I got pumped when the kids just jumped down.
Oh yeah,
Fuck yeah, they're back.
yeah, they're back.
Fuck yeah.
Same leader.
That was probably my favorite part of this movie. I got very excited.
Beth or no, Lorna. Is it Lorna?
She had gum.
She has a little gum, hands it over.
The nerdier girl.
Kid just spits in her face.
No, she doesn't have gum. She has like a mint. It's like
Oh,
a
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
breath mint.
Yeah, like a
Oh,
Ricola.
I got this one. I
He
got this one.
spits in her fucking
Yeah.
face.
Smint.
That
That's
was
right. Here's a
amazing.
smint. You want a smint? Spits in her face.
That
That
was
was fucking
amazing.
smint lady. So she's not having a good
God,
time.
I hate
off
it.
the bat.
That dumb bitch got spit on.
So the businessmen arrive, or no, they go to the party. They go to like the village festival, harvest festival, where Lorna meets a guy named Roman, this kind of giant
Straight up
looking
Viking motherfucker.
Viking dude who's very nice to her, very romantic to her.
Yeah,
there's
treats her
bit
like
of
a little angel face.
yeah, there's a little bit of a language barrier, but it's nice. It's sweet. He's gonna take her on.
She's experiencing attention from a dude, which doesn't happen often.
She's obviously the nerdy one. Like the other two are
Yeah.
super are classically hot chicks, and she's kind of a nerdy, quiet introvert. She's reading. She has a travel journal.
Yeah,
journal.
feelings
Oh, we should also say before we go out, we didn't
What you
mention the
wanna
scene where
say?
you find out that our main girl, Beth, I think her name is, right? She is the heir to like
We don't
money
know.
that from her mother. Yeah, you're told this right here. She tells the other girl, remember? She told her this already.
Oh,
as they were
yeah,
checking in
she
or something like
said-
that.
She
says to
kind
her-
of she kind of glosses over. She's
Well,
like,
no, she
how
doesn't. She says to her, she got inheritance and she has so much money where she could buy whatever she wants, whenever she wants. She says that to her.
yeah,
She
okay,
straight up says that to her.
copy you.
And you know that, and you also know that other homegirl, the girl who says that, she's there to have a good time and get some dick. Let's do that. She's the girl who wants the dick.
Yeah, she's the
The
party
other
girl.
girl's the nerdy one, and Beth is the one who's kind of just like on a trip with her friends. Like that's the dynamic of these girls, and it's just so different.
The
than
normal
the other
one, so to speak.
Yeah. So yeah,
And then hot
This
European
girl-
girls in tow.
She
This
could pretty
girl goes
much
up to
buy
Beth and is
Slovakia
like-
if she wanted to.
this girl goes up to Beth and is like, "Yo, I'm gonna go on a boat with this dude," and she's like, "You can't go on a fucking boat with this dude. You got to promise you're not gonna go with this dude." She goes, "No, it's gonna be okay.
Definitely
It's
go on a
gonna be
boat."
fine." And then
We
long
also
story
see
short,
we see Todd's at this festival, and Todd
Stewart.
and Stewart are at this festival. We see the boss walking through the festival with his dogs.
yes.
Yeah.
So this
Yes,
is
this
just
happens
like
here.
I'm sure every hot
Creepy
girl
front
here is
desk
ready
guy.
to be murdered, and every creepy guy is ready to be fucking ready to murder.
Exactly.
And there is a
That's
guy
it.
that asks Beth to dance, and it's like ominously says like, "I was trying to help you," and then walks away. And then that's when like
Yeah.
the front desk dude comes over and he's like, "Drink this."
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
and
Or he's
got
like,
sketched out. He's like, "What did that guy say to you?"
Yeah. He's like, well, he won't be bothering you anymore. Something
She
like
said
that.
he asked me if I wanted to dance, and
Yeah.
he goes, okay. Well, when she says he wasn't bothering me, and he just looks at her and smiles, and she
Drink
knew it.
this.
Yeah, he says, "Drink this." Yeah, and
Yeah,
then,
what exactly to say? He says like, "I can help you" or something.
Yeah, he says, I was trying to help you or something along those lines.
Or
And
yeah,
she
when
looks at him
she-
kinda
when she
weird,
says
and he
no,
walks
he
off.
goes, She says, "I was trying to help you." All of them are drinking by this point,
Yeah.
including Lorna, who doesn't drink, and now she's drunk and hanging out with
Yeah,
Roman.
so she goes on the boat with
They got their
homeboy.
tattoos by this point. The Stuart and Todd, we saw them get their tattoos.
Oh
and
yeah,
at one point,
Todd.
Stuart got hit, or Todd got his, and when Stuart went to get his, he's like, "Nah, I don't want the tattoo." And they're like, "You have to get the fucking tattoo.
Yeah,
Like,
you
we
have
don't
to
care
get
where
her.
you get it, but you got to get a fucking."
It's
tattoo."
part of the deal, and this is where you start to realize that Stuart is not really into this 100%. Like
Nah,
you think he is
he's
until
gonna get
this is the
cold
point
feet.
where this isn't gonna happen. And then Todd is obviously still can't fucking wait to kill a
Todd's dick's
motherfucker.
hard.
101. Yeah. And this is where I think is interesting about it, because it shows like how Stewart is so like torn. Like, is this something that he really want to do, or is this something you just talk about with your friends and be like, yeah, that's fucking cool, of course I would do that, but then he comes to it, it's like, well, I'm not gonna really fucking do that. That's not right. That's not something I would ever want to live with. But it's almost like one of those, like, I don't want to say bullying or peer pressure things, but it's almost like is this what I'm supposed to fucking do? Like,
Todd's
I'm this
definitely like
guy.
telling him
I'm
like
this
we
fucking
should
guy.
do this.
But Stewart's
Yeah.
realizing that
He
maybe
is
he's not
this
this guy. You know what I mean? He's well. Right now, Stewart's not this guy, and
Yeah.
and when homegirl leaves on the boat, he bumps into Beth, and obviously he knows who Beth is because he's seen pictures of her because he bought her technically.
Yeah.
And
She spills his
he-
drink. She spills his drink.
She spills her drink, and you
He
realize
buys
that
her.
they
She
start.
buys her another one.
Yeah, they start talking, and he buys her a drink, and they talk about why they're there, and it's very ambiguous. And he just says he's got, what does he talk about, his family a little bit, or what does he say? I forget.
He says he doesn't know why he's there, I think.
Yeah, you're right. And that's when you're just like, and see, to me, Jake, I don't know why you think that this side of it's like not good or less interesting, and why you change it up. I mean, you got to change it up a little bit to make it interesting. If you just go through the same exact thing again, it's like pretty boring and predictable. You got to show something different about the idea that you came up with, and the other side of it's a great way to do it, because that side of it is more fucked up to me, because you're actually seeing the people who voluntarily are coming to fucking do this. You know what I mean?
Right. I guess
Like, what is not good about that?
I mean, it's not that it's not good. I appreciate more of the mystery side of it. Like I almost like
But by
the
this time you're not a
unknown.
mystery anyway.
Right.
This time it's not a
And
mystery anyway. No matter
but
what happens, it's not a mystery.
the twists and turns of this one, or of the first one, were just more appreciated than the second one. Was just more, there wasn't anything really new to me in the second one, other than they just expanded on the business side of it. That's all they really did.
Yeah, you
Well,
saw the
it
other
was-
foot.
We saw the ending is pretty great. The way it all ends is pretty new and kind of awesome.
So her
I
friend
like the
disappears
ending.
on the boat. They don't care. She goes. Now we cut to we're on the boat with her and Roman. They get off, still romantic, very nice. They find a little beach. They get off on the beach, right near the beach. He says, close your eyes, and she closes his eyes, and he lights a cigarette, and two guys come from behind, put a bag over her head,
And they
then
knock
Roman-
her with a fucking stick.
Well, Roman
then
picks her
she-
up and throws her in the water, and then she gets out, and then they knock her with the stick.
Yeah. That was so fucked. See, I think seeing that and experiencing that is so much more visceral and kind of intense than
Yeah, because
the
we
whole
know what a
dude
stick to the
thing.
dome feels like.
Yeah, like it's like, and these girls are so fucking helpless. Like, they're literally so helpless. Like, there's nothing that she could do to get out of that situation in that moment. Like, it's totally different.
No,
I mean, I don't mind like that. The fact that it was like a gender swap. I just thought it was
you hate chicks. We get
it was just a simple. They just did it all again. I actually when I started watching the first one, for some reason in my head, I thought the first one was starring female roles as well. Like, I didn't know that it was dudes in the first one, girls in the second one. So I must have just
I didn't know.
seen that the girls were in the second one, and I swapped in my head. So I was
Okay.
surprised with the first one that it had the
You
male.
know who
leads
got
both
swapped
for
in the
that.
head? Lorna from Roman.
Yeah, she got fucking all right. So she gets busted in the head.
So
This
the two
is, and then
girls
cut back.
leave.
Well, hold
No,
on.
go ahead.
Cut back to the thing, and it ends up where they Beth and Stuart part ways. She says good night to her, and then it shows cut. Oh my god, I can't even speak right now. Never mind. Keep going.
It cuts.
I'm not
Yes, it cuts. So yeah, they leave. He says, "I'm sure I'll see you around again," in a creepy way, and then they're leaving. The girl, the girl that not Beth, not Lorna, Whitney. She doesn't give a fuck. She just met this guy in a biker jacket.
Who you
and they-
think is one of those guys the whole time, in my opinion. I was like that.
Yeah, he
dude's
doesn't
one of
really end
these
up being a
fucking
bad
dudes.
guy, huh? That
No,
guy
he ends
just.
up being the guy getting his fucking leg eaten by fucking the dude who directed Cannibal Holocaust.
Oh,
That's that dude.
Yeah. So yeah, he's
Yeah.
so he's just a part of it. He's just as fucked as they are. They have his passport. So so she leaves with him, and Beth doesn't want to leave, but Alexa or Axel, not Alexi, but Axel, the hot model, says, "Hey, I'll wait for your friend. You go get your other friend home safe." Right?
Yeah.
She doesn't let him have sex with her friend, takes her home. They go to bed, and then I think, this is the part you were talking about. They see, so earlier when they were walking up, he's walking up with 2 passports. He puts them away, takes their passports, and goes and makes photocopies. Assuming, and then they walk to their room. To the right, they see a couple. Either was it a couple or was it just 2 girls like unpacking and like trying on clothes in a room down the hall?
Yeah, I think it's a couple on the bed, a dude and a
Couple on
girl.
the bed, yeah.
Yeah.
So tonight they're going home from the party, and as they're walking into their room, she looks down the hall, Beth, and she sees 2 guys bagging up all the clothes and shit in that room. So
And they
obviously,
slam the door shut.
They slam the door
And
shut.
then they go to bed, and it cuts to her fucking Loma wakes up naked, hung upside down, and above a fucking crazy.
It cuts to the guys jogging, talking about that whole thing I was talking about earlier about how like you could see when someone's killed a guy, and and it's the whole thing. This is just kind of reinforcing the fact that Todd or Stewart doesn't really want to do this, and Todd's like, "Yo, you can't back out of this. When we're doing it, like you can't get cold feet on this." Just kind of talking about that. He doesn't even have his beeper on because they were given like beepers, like when you go to a restaurant to when your table's ready. No, when when the person that you paid to kill is ready, your beeper fucking goes off.
Yep.
Oh man, they end up. I don't know where that conversation ends up. But then it goes to the girls.
Well,
in
that conversation's all about like the reason that they're there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's when he talks about like you said before is like when you want to fucking meet a guy who's killed a guy, like you know that, and like he wants to have that, like he wants people to know that he's killed a person, like when they look at him, and that's where you see like Stewart is like torn by this because he's like I don't know, he's like I'm not really fucking, maybe I'm not trying to kill anybody.
Yeah,
And he's like,
maybe
well,
I'm not this guy.
Yeah, maybe I'm not this fucking guy. And then Todd being the fucking bully, I love that his name's Todd actually, is just is like, come on, pussy, let's go. And then it cuts. And then I think this is where it cuts to like her death, right? In the pool, in the bathtub.
It cuts to the girls in a spa in there, and they're just like, I wonder where Lorna is. And like, she's probably out getting some dick right now.
Oh yeah, they're in that dope ass spa. It looks
Yeah.
like Iceland, fucking like off the top, like of a mountain type of spa.
The German
is Iceland.
biker dude.
It is Iceland?
like giving her a
It
back
shot
rub.
there.
Oh, nice.
It's not in the movie. It's still Slovakia.
Yeah, it does look
shot
like Iceland,
that part shot in Iceland.
Yeah.
They say,
and then,
I wish she was here now. Cuts to Lorna.
Yeah.
That's when she's hung upside down,
She's
naked.
Upside down. We see
in like
Roman.
this crazy fucking like dungeon, but like bathhouse, like a bathhouse dungeon,
Candles
with a
everywhere.
giant bath, and they shut the lights off and light fucking candles.
Yeah,
like, just
well,
burning
Roman
everywhere.
turns the lights on and then starts a torch at which point I'm like, well, Roman's gonna just start torching her, but no. Everyone lights up a torch and they start lighting all these candles around this. I mean, it's straight out of Saw, really. Like, or it looks like something like a room out of Saw with this kind of grand bathtub in the middle. They light all these candles, and then Roman kind of gives her a kiss on the forehead and walks away, and that's when they flip all the lights off and just leave her hanging there with the candles lit. And then somebody walks in. Woman walks down the stairs in a giant robe, giant cloak, disrobes the cloak. She has this kind of like crazy necklace on, completely naked other than the necklace, lays down in the bathtub.
Great boobs. We gotta
boobs?
preface that. Great boobs.
I mean, she's
Killer
probably
boobs.
50.
Dude, boobs though, out of this world.
You think they're real boobs?
Real or not real?
They were
Prime
good boobs. Solid
Kind of
boobs.
an Angelica Houston.
Solid. No, way hotter, way more voluptuous. Angelica Houston flat as
voluptuous. I don't know about voluptuous. I'm looking at the boobs right now.
Super voluptuous. This girl has big boobies.
They're not big boobies.
They're nice size boobies.
We're talking about the woman in the tub, not the
Yeah.
one hung upside down.
Yeah, I would not
Upside
classify
down
them as
boobs
big
looked
by any
kind of weird,
means.
but you know the
Upside down boobs were no bueno boobs.
Well,
that girl's boobs.
those are not big.
Those
Yeah,
are
this
those
thing's
are a
boobs.
good size.
Yeah,
They're
fine.
bigger.
I'm not
They're
talking
bigger
shit.
than not big. If you're going to scale of 1 to 10,
They're not
like a
small.
7.
They're 5, maybe 5,
Five?
five
Get
and a
the
half,
fuck- all right,
6,
whatever.
six
C's
most.
probably she's probably rocking C's.
I don't know.
We're talking cups. Probably rocking C's.
Speaking
right,
of
let's-
cups, she lays down in the bed. In the bathtub. Picks up a scythe that the Grim Reaper would be proud of. Scythe, is that what it's
that's a
called?
good-
Teeth.
That's
Scythe.
that's a good
Scythe.
thing to
That sounds
say.
right.
As she's
A
laying
scythe
down
that
and
the
it's
Grim
on the
Reaper would
sick,
be proud of.
she starts caressing Lorna's body with it. With the
Oh, you can
pointy
hear
end.
it. You can
Yeah,
hear the sharp
you can
edges
hear it.
going along her skin and like dragging, and it's like, oh my god, oh my god.
She screams. With the knife. She cuts her mouth gag off so she could hear her scream. And then she just starts slicing her.
Slice and dice, baby.
Slicing and dicing. She slices her back, a little bit of blood drips down, and she's showering in the blood in the bathtub. And then eventually she slices her neck, all the blood drains out. And I think that's when we cut to the next scene. Pretty fucked up scene.
Yucky.
She bathes in it, she rubs it all over there. Oh, she takes a different knife out. Anything else to say about
Different
Shore?
scythe, smaller scythe, mini
Smaller
scythe.
Then we
George
cut back
guys
to the
do
friends.
nothing.
Yeah, are we? You still with us, Schwizzy?
Sending an email.
We cut back to the friends, still in the cool spa. Let's see what happens after that.
Yeah, is that when? Is that who? Oh yeah, when they cut to the spa, Beth falls asleep at the spa while the
That's
blonde
right.
girl's getting banged by the one dude in the bath, like off in the bathroom.
And she wakes up by herself,
Yeah, she wakes up by herself.
and then she starts
And-
being chased by the creepy by mobsters.
Yes. She runs to the road. The dude that she saw that tried to help her
Yeah,
is
meets the
like
buck
driving
dude.
down the road in a truck, but then he's all fucking beat up and shit.
Yeah,
He's all bloody.
She tries to get him to help, and he goes, "I tried to fucking help you," and he looks like someone
Yeah.
beat the shit out of him.
He's
Which
out.
I want to know that guy's story. Who the fuck is this guy, and why was he trying to help her?
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of little things in the movie like that I kind of liked. And then
I
she runs
wonder- I
deeper into the
wonder
woods.
I wonder who he was to like
I don't know,
the
yeah.
organization. I wonder if he worked for it, because it seems like most of the people in this town, other than the kids, work for the organization.
Yeah, or they know about it in some way or another. Like even the cops were like stopping the people in the cars in the first one. I assumed because he escaped.
Yeah,
Things
they
like that.
contributed to it somehow. Anyway,
Yeah.
so she runs deeper into the woods where she trips
Organized
on a
crime, baby.
tripwire,
Right.
and back comes the bubblegum gang.
Fuck yeah, I like that name, Bubblegum Gang. Is that what they called them in the commentary?
I think so. Yeah, I think that's what
Okay.
the proper term for the kids are. She trips, bubblegum gang starts to attack, starts beating the shit out of her, and then
Yeah, so weird.
and then Excel, the hot lady that got her into all this mess in the first place, comes out of nowhere with, is it the owner? Is it like the guy with the dogs?
Yeah, Sasha. It
Oh,
it
he's got a
seems
name
that
now.
he's like the head of it. Well, we come to learn the name because once they get into the house, they do say his name. Because they get to the house, like they basically save him. They save Beth from the kids, and Excel brings her to a car, and then that's when,
Yes.
for some reason, Sasha kills one of the kids. He's like-
Executes one of the boys.
He's
as
like,
punishment.
I need one, and yeah, which is, I don't really get that part. That was kind of strange to me. That didn't really make a whole lot of sense, I guess.
Because
why
the
would-
kids
why-
crossed the
why listen to
line.
him?
Kids crossed the line, and he had to choose one and make an example out of them. Let him go.
I guess, but it
That's
also
why I
seemed
love
like
the
they
kids.
didn't work for him, but then they kind of did. They like had a relationship with him in a weird way.
It's tumultuous. They don't they it's kind of like they respect each other's organizations, but also you got to know that they got to know that the kids are never going to bow to their will. They're fucking kids. They don't give a fuck. They don't know to care. They don't know they don't know how scared to be of these people. So and they don't care. So they just let them. They kind of let them do their own thing.
Yeah, maybe it's because like he
Every
owns
now and then
her
the
at
Merc
this
one.
point, and like he was like, "This is my property. Fuck with my property. Here's punishment." Because it just seems like a random thing to do. To like, why punish these kids for beating up some girl? Because eventually, it essentially helped him get the girl back. So I don't know what the punishment. The punishment wasn't necessary. Is all I'm saying. Kid
Wow.
didn't have to die. Random kid death didn't
Yeah.
need to happen.
Kill the
But
kid.
whatever.
I wish I remembered that. I wanted to watch the second one commentary one more time, so I can't remember what they said about that part.
Yeah. I guess that was one of the things I just found unnecessary. But I wasn't anti them establishing the more of the business side. I liked them showing some of it. I just think some of the parts were unnecessary.
Like what?
Or like the kid getting killed in the woods, that just didn't fit to me.
Yeah, kill.
I mean, it showed the hierarchy of it all. It showed that this dude like runs this fucking place with an iron fucking fist. Like people there are gonna cooperate with him, or they're not gonna fucking live. You know what I mean?
I guess.
He-
I mean,
he-
it's probably not
he's
super
like the-
important, but it just seemed unnecessary. And like,
Yeah,
I don't know,
like,
just
like I was
because
saying, the kids don't work for him, but
they essentially
they
trapped
have
the
like
girl
a
and
mutual
got her back.
respect for each other's
Yeah.
organizations. But the kids got to know that when push comes to shove, boss is
Yeah.
the boss.
They also
Yeah,
didn't
the
even
dog- the dogs
seem
are
scared.
ruling.
They just had the gun in the face. They just kind of stared at him, and then
That's why
like-
the kids. That's why the kids are don't give a fuck because they're not scared. Kids don't give
Yeah.
a fuck.
Mm-mm.
like, but they had to have known that that's what was going to go down.
100%. They
seemed-
threw
yeah.
that kid there. They chose
Yeah.
the main kid chose that kid. Like
Yeah.
he chose that kid. He was just the weakest one in the link. Like when that old dude looks at them, he looks directly at the boss kid and like looks and says number one. He goes like this, meaning one person's got to
Yeah.
go, and the kid chose him.
And then the dude just nods to the kid, and the kid fucking walks off. That kid's a little badass. But
Yeah.
still, I don't know. I just found it weird. I just thought the kid death was an unnecessary part, but whatever. Now we're essentially at the house, right? So they kind of start
They were at
showing more. Yeah,
Sasha's
they're at
mansion.
Sasha's.
Yeah, they take her in and they give her a bath and new clothes and they're in a dope house.
Some tea, which she
Some tea.
drinks for some reason.
Well, I think she feels safe, which to me is the dumbest fucking feeling because this girl's showed up and everything fucking went to shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it just I guess though, as a viewer of the 1st
I'm
one,
not
we already
sure-
know, so we're already on the bad side of this girl because we know what's going on. you
Yeah,
know
I
what
was gonna
Maybe
say
it's
I'm
not
not
as
sure
obvious
she
to her.
knows that Excel is like a part of
She
some kind of
definitely doesn't
crazy
know.
cabal at this point.
Just a
She
weird chain
wouldn't
of
have went there
events.
if she knew.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because the girl invited her to the spa, and then she ran through the woods, and the girl happened
Well,
to rescue her again.
girl-
like, it just
the
seemed like
girl
I
didn't-
would be sketched out by it, but
The girl didn't fucking.
movie's
She
sake.
didn't fall asleep at the spa. She gave her like a drink or something that had something in it and made her go to sleep. And then she fucking
At the
kidnapped her other
spa.
friend. Yeah, at the spa. And then she
Yeah.
fucking when she fell asleep, she just woke up because they drugged her.
yeah,
And so the whole time was to get her there. So the only way to get her in the situation, I guess, with her to cooperate to get there is to be like, okay, well, we're helping you. You know what I mean? The thing is that this entire town is in on it. Everybody there works for these people. It's just all
Right.
everybody's in cahoots. So it's like a thing.
So
it's like,
who
it's like
who
a,
was the guy that tried
thing.
to help? We were talking while you were gone. Who was
he's
that
just this
guy?
random dude. I don't know. He's
He-
a guy
he-
who's a good person, I guess. He's like the only good person in town, maybe.
But
and obviously he got his
he
ass kicked
knows
for
what's
it.
up. Like, was he a part of it at some point?
I think everybody in that town knows that this is it, and you
Yeah.
cooperate with it and make money, or you just shut the fuck up. I feel
Or
like
you
you're
either
gonna
cooperate
make
or
money.
you
Everybody
die.
probably makes money. Yeah, exactly. I mean, they didn't kill him. They beat the shit out of him, but they didn't kill him.
Who
He's probably like the
fuck
town
tooth
kid who's just a good person. You know what I mean? They
Yeah.
did fuck him up though. So where are you guys with homeboy Spence and Todd?
We're in the mansion with Beth
Her.
right now.
Okay.
But we then cut to like the holding cell of girls.
Oh,
where
yeah,
we
I
see
forgot about
Whitney get
that.
pulled out of
Yeah.
one of them and get
See, that's
locked to
another
a
thing
chair.
that's cool
and-
is like it shows you this side of it, and there's really like a holding cell full of people
Yeah.
that are just ready to go in there. Like
yeah,
that's crazy.
And Jake, I feel like the thing about this is like you have to ramp it up. You have to show something the first one didn't do. And like if you're not showing that side, how else do you do that? Like what else is a way to get more information across from the side of the people who don't know it's coming? You know what I mean? Probably really isn't another way
This
to
is
do
the
that.
only way to have a.
It's really the
sequel to
only
this.
way to advance the storyline.
That's not as much of my problem with this as other parts are later. But I just feel like that's a typical sequel situation. That's all. It's a I'm not. It's not wrong for doing that.
You just didn't enjoy this one as much.
I just didn't enjoy this one as much.
You hate girls. It's fine. You remember? Go back to the very beginning when Paxton gets his head cut off in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the house and table to Thanksgiving.
Really?
Yeah.
That's sick.
They shot Thanksgiving in that. They were shooting that.
Oh yeah, because they
scene,
were they were both in Thanksgiving. You're right.
and they
What's
extended
Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving's like the fake preview or fake trailer that was in the Grindhouse.
Oh yeah. Okay. I
They
forgot about
used that table and they were like, and they extended that shoot 2 more days, and they shot that trailer in there.
Nice.
That's got some crazy visuals in that
he-
trailer. The
he
knife
was
going
like-
through the fucking trampoline, and then she's doing the split in midair.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, he's
That's
like, we just
terrible.
had extra parts and pieces like Paxton's head that was in there and all that we just used for the trailer. That's what we used for it. All right, back to
That
this.
trailer is one of the most insane things in the history of anything. Actually, that's a crazy things that happen in that. The end scene of the fucking killer fucking the human turkey. That shit's crazy.
Did they ever make that movie? No, he hasn't made that
No,
movie.
the only movie they made out of those fake trailers was Machete.
Machete. So we see Whitney. Whitney's pulled out of the cell and locked into a chair, and we see this guy kind of come up to is it a guy or a girl? Kind of ambiguous.
It's a. I think it was a older female. I think doing her
and
makeup or something, cleaning her
almost
up.
to
Oh,
seem
yeah.
like almost to seem like she was helping her and
Well, she's supposed to
they
make
were
her
like,
pretty. She's supposed
yeah,
to
and
make
then
her look
they
good
were
for
like,
the
oh, I
fucking
just want to
people.
make you pretty, and then so I mean, and that I like that because it showed something other than like, I mean, eventually she's gonna torture and kill her, but do we even see what happens after that? What happens to
She
her? Does
bites her
So-
nose off.
Oh yeah,
she
but-
uncuffs her, yeah, and then she
Yeah.
acts like she's gonna be nice to her, and she starts trying to put more makeup on her, and the girl freaks out and fucking bites her fucking nose off,
yeah.
which was great.
But that's also intercut with Beth walking through. I get them mixed up. I don't know who's who. Beth walking through, the other girl, the dark hair girl, walking through the house. And she walks into the room with the heads. She sees like a trophy room
In
with
the
all the
closet.
heads.
Well,
One of
she's-
them.
she's in the house, and then she sees the dudes coming into the house, like the dudes in the car, and she realizes that they're coming for her. So she goes to hide in the closet. In the back of the closet is that room with the heads in it.
Yes. Like
And
a
then they
trophy
eventually
room.
come in there and grab her. And then it cuts to her in the fucking cell, like we came with Paxton, the original first one, where she wakes up and she's in there, and it's homeboy. So what's his name?
Well, it cuts
Scott?
to Todd.
Stewart.
Todd's getting his beeper beeps.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they head in.
Yep, they go in because they got the girls. The girls are ready to go.
They're
Yeah.
called. They're called to come in, and then they show
Wait,
them
so
in the,
I thought so. I thought Whitney was for one and Beth was for the other one.
That is
They
Todd.
were.
Todd has Whitney, and
Yeah.
So
Stewart
was
has
that
Stewart
guy
Beth.
has
really
Beth.
just getting her? Was she just really getting her pretty for the?
yeah.
Yeah, 'cause
Oh,
she's
I
wearing
thought
like a
that was
nice dress and
torture
stuff.
thing.
No, he was
No,
getting
that
her
was
pretty.
like I think just setting the scene for what he wants probably because she's like wearing a nice dress and shit. And then
So they show
because they just
up.
throw Beth in there, but they make Whitney all pretty and stuff.
Yeah.
They show up to the place and they go to like this room of torture devices that they
Yeah.
get to choose
Torture
from,
rooms.
which also seems like this is much more put together than the first one. The first one seemed like an empty room with a table full of shit that you can choose from. This one seems much more like streamlined where here
Well,
choose
So
your
that's the
tools.
they
thing,
seem
this-
to clean it up a bit.
Well, the thing is it's showing you the other side of it. You didn't experience all those people went through this that were torturing them. You just didn't know that. You saw it from the other side. They're showing you how it.
Yeah,
You're picking numbers.
it
of the
just
tools you
seems
want, and
like
they're
they
marking
didn't
it
go
down.
through this process. Like the first guy, people didn't seem like they went through all this process. It
Why?
just didn't seem.
You don't know that. What do you mean?
Because of the how like random and disorganized all the tools and torture devices were just like sploon straight about the room. That didn't seem like someone
Well-
chose those and then put them there meticulous, not meticulous, just if someone was to choose all those and then place them down, they wouldn't have ended up that randomly and grossly. You know, these are like clean saws and shit, like displayed on like
Yeah,
a
I
John
think
Wick
those
death room.
I think those things are display, and that they just grab it out of a fucking pile that they already have, and they just put it all in a fucking thing, and they wheel into your room, and that's your
Okay.
arsenal.
You want
That's
to?
what it
Okay,
is.
you can say that.
100%. It's just showing you the
Sure,
other side
not
of it. like the-
100% because like
No,
like you just said,
definitely,
I don't.
definitely.
You don't know. I don't know. So like,
no,
but
we know, we know.
you, no, you don't know. You don't know
Wait,
shit.
Goodbye. Give you
I know.
80% on that.
Yeah, I could go like 92.
But I'll go with you on that. I'll go with that's it. That's an explanation.
So yeah, so they choose their thing and they choose all their weapons and they go into the rooms and they show it's like all dramatic, not dramatic, but they really show how like these dudes are get a little nervous going through with this, and this is where Stuart starts to become eerily calm. Like he's been a little like little over the top of like when he talks about how much he doesn't want to do this, and now he's just like quiet and into it. And Homeboy looks a little rattled. Todd looks a little rattled, which is like, oh, that's kind of
Todd's kinda
interesting. That's
freaking
kind of
out.
cool.
Not yeah. I mean, Stewart's still kind of being all like, I'm not that guy, and kind of like
yeah, I guess. Yeah,
crying weird because she's like,
But
"You
now
remember
he's getting
me,
just quiet.
Stewart from the play." Like I don't know, he
Oh,
still
yeah,
seems
true.
like
I
that
forgot
same
about that.
way. He still seems like he doesn't want
I
to do
forgot
it.
about that.
Yeah, he
for a
takes the
while. Keep
gag
going,
off of the
keep going.
girl. He takes the gag off her and talks to her.
Yeah. And Todd does get the second thoughts because once he starts doing shit, then he gets her hair caught in his like drill or
Yeah.
whatever, and then partially scalps her, and then that fucking
That
freaks him
kind
out.
of
He
freaks
puts
him out.
he puts the bag over her head, and then he leaves, and then he's like, I'm not doing this shit. I'm not doing it. And then the guard is like, nah, this is the agreement. This is the contract. If you come here, you kill, or else.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I paid. I'm out. Fuck you guys. And then
But also at this point, we're seeing like Stewart has let Beth out of the chair. I think she let her out of the chair, like giving her a hug. It's like you can get out of here. And this is where he's saying like, I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy.
yeah.
Yeah, what changes?
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't really make that much sense.
That's what I
he
like.
sees- he
like the
sees
first
Todd's
one,
body.
We kind of change. We change perspectives
yeah.
of the people. Like this one, same thing. Like they change perspectives. He didn't want to do it, now he does, and he wanted to do it
I
whole
don't
hog,
know.
now he doesn't.
I just
you're
don't
right,
think it.
because
It just doesn't make that much sense.
Todd-
Like they
Todd-
completely change. Todd makes a little bit more sense because you can see that okay, there is the human side of him. With Stewart, he just changes so abruptly.
He just hates his wife.
Yeah, but it just seems like the character. It's just such a character shift with that one. And
I think it's supposed to be to where you realize that this dude's always kind of been fucked up, and he just has a good way of hiding it. Is what I think it is. Honestly, I think he just something like seeing Todd dead and realizing that girl's probably the reason why he's dead, and whatever reason it is, like he just wants like to get back at her. Like
Well,
I
he
think that
also
triggers
was like
him
call
hating
he
his
because
wife.
his whole thing is like I'm not your wife. Or her whole thing is I'm not your wife. I'm not your wife. I'm not your wife.
yeah, she
Yeah.
looks like his wife.
Sure. I don't. Did we didn't. We got like. Did we?
They
even get a
mentioned that. They
good
mentioned
look at
that.
her?
No, I don't know. Do we see her in the beginning? I know that they mention it though. They talk about it.
But he's just had a fuse lit for his whole fucking life. Like, and that was like the beginning when we were saying, or when Eli Roth was saying this was Paxton and Josh after, if they didn't go on this trip. He's in a loveless marriage and that he hates he's been in for a long time, and he hates his life, and he's going to go and do this thing. So there's just this fuse burning this long, and he I think he didn't think that he was that person until the switch flipped, and he fucking figured out he was.
Yes. It just
I mean,
seems so.
I guess you really never find that out though, because he says he is all of a sudden, and then he gets a tables turned, which is why I love about this part. I think this part of the movie is great. The fact that she ends up getting the upper hand on him and takes him hostage, and when the dudes come in to tell her that
she's got like she can't get out of it, and she decides to tell him that she can get out of it
That
because
was
she has
dick and
money.
pair of scissors.
Yes,
Yeah,
the
that's
dick and
what
the
she's doing.
scissors thing.
Yeah, and she has a gun and a dick and pair of scissors, and they all come in guns blazing. And she's like, "If you fucking shoot me, I cut his dick off." And he's like, "Nah, I don't
Don't
wanna cut
care.
my dick off. Don't do it."
Yeah,
And then she threatens to buy him out.
Yeah, that's a pretty wild scene. And then the guy says they bring the fucking head honcho in, and he's like, well, you to get out of this, there's a rule, you either got to kill or be killed. And she's like, all right, well, I'll cut his dick off. She cuts
Yeah.
his dick off, and the best
She
thing,
cuts
cuts
his
it
dick
off, and
off.
you see it.
She goes,
you see
"Let
a
him
close-up
bleed
of that
out."
shit. Let him bleed out, and then she tells him she's got enough money to fucking buy all of them and everything.
So
like
that was
and
that
he
was the
says,
thing, and she was like, I'll pay my way out of here, and they're like, no, that's not how it works. And she's like, no, but I got a lot of fucking money, I'll do it. And then she's like, okay, we'll do that. And she like she's like, I got this, just give me a number and I'll give you the cash. And he's like, all right, but someone's got to die still. Like you can't just come in and go out and no one dies. She goes, all right,
Rules are
well,
rules.
rules are rules.
cut
She
his
fucking
dick off, bleeds out.
yep, cuts dick and balls off.
Mhm.
Crazy
I
fucking
think it's-
shot.
Oh,
Gross as
great
fuck.
shot. Dick and
Yeah,
balls.
great
I'm
shot.
gonna fast forward.
Then
to it real
throws the dick and balls to the
To
dog.
the dog.
Yep.
Yeah, German Shepherd.
Dog grabs
That was
it.
Pretty awesome.
So there's no getting that back. Oh, oh God.
God,
Yeah, it's pretty
real gross
crazy.
shot.
Let him bleed out. Cuts to her getting the tattoo on her ass because everybody's
Yep.
gotta get the tattoo.
Cut to homegirl who fucking drew her in, the girl that they drew at the art show. Cut to her walking around. Some little kid grabs her
You gotta get a
purse,
little
she
closer to
runs-
the microphone there, Schwartz.
Sorry, guys.
Cut to who?
So after she cuts the dick off and gets the tattoo and agrees to leave, it cuts to the girl who lured her there, the
Excel.
model. Yeah, Excel, the model from the art show. She's walking around town doing her thing, and a little kid grabs her purse and runs away with it. She follows him. They run into the woods, and she gets tripped up by a booby trap that they set, and you get to see our main chick Beth in a hoodie, and she just fucking chops this bitch's head off.
Yeah, with a
And the little
giant
kids-
axe.
Giant axe, and these little kids proceed to play soccer with her head, which is pretty rad.
While Stuart was trying to kill her, he tries to rape her. So that's another good reason to cut his dick and balls off.
No, Stuart deserves it. He was a terrible
And
guy.
he calls her a cunt. And earlier in the movie, she establishes she doesn't
You're
like
like
being
that.
called a cunt.
Yeah, don't fuck with her.
Yeah,
Don't act
so
like one. Just
that
keep
made her
it
real
moving.
mad. Cut the dick off.
Yeah,
earlier
in the movie,
like especially why would you call a girl a cunt while she has your dick and balls
oh
in
yeah,
scissors?
no,
Bad
not,
move,
not the most
Stuart.
ideal.
He's a fucking
bad
asshole.
move. Yeah.
Earlier in the movie, in the at the town festival, there's like a puppet show going on, marionettes, and there's one like a guy beating a girl, and she's like screaming something in Slavic or whatever, and she's literally saying, I'm not your wife, and he's screaming, fuck you, you cunt. But it's in that language. So we obviously know, and that's how it ends. That's how this movie ends. She pays him off, she gets out of there, she kills XL.
So there was a third one made, not by Eli Roth and not by anybody who made the first two.
We had
But,
nothing to do with
I
it.
never,
right?
I had nothing to do with it, but I know there's a third one.
And the
I read that it takes
Bubblegum
place in
Gang
Vegas.
plays soccer with XL's head. That's how the
That's
end
right.
goes.
Yeah,
That's right.
that's the end of the movie. That's a great shot.
That's it.
I thought these movies were fun, man. These are movies that definitely go in the childhood movies of like new
Childhood.
wave horror. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
New wave horror. Not even say
When
childhood,
this one-
but like when I was like a teenager or whatever, like
Yeah,
getting into
teenage,
movies, like
yeah.
like really like I say I just a teenager, but I was really exploring movies when I was a teenager, and these came out in a time when I was always watching movies. So these were like new horror. This is like at the same time James Wan came out and shit like that, and it was just kind of a new wave of horror. And this wasn't technically horror though, because this isn't a scary movie. It's just a fucking.
But
fucked
it
up
fell
movie.
under that.
It goes under the banner
It'd
for
be under
sure.
horror and blockbuster.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Rob Zombie to Eli Roth. These types of movies came out and they were just like, oh shit. James Wan, like you said, they were just like, oh, like this is a different level of fucked up.
Well,
This is
they
these
called
movies
them
are
the
just
Splat
fucked
Pack.
up.
There was like a couple other people. They
Splat
called them
Pack?
Splat Pack. Yeah, because their movies were all fucking bloody
It's fair.
and like crazy gore. Because Rob Zombie movies, the only thing gorier than this movie is probably a Rob Zombie movie. Those movies are fucking crazy.
Have you either of you seen The Munsters yet?
No, I heard it was
No.
terrible.
It looks bad. The Munsters, the remake of the movie version of the old TV show. Rob
Yeah.
Zombie
There's-
just did that. It came out on Netflix. It's on
You
Netflix
said it
now.
looks bad.
Yeah, it looks
It
terrible.
does look bad, but
Sherry Moon Zombie's the mom.
of
Come
course
on.
she is.
I mean,
Of course
Luis
she is.
Guzman's the dad, which is kind of cool,
That's Luis Guzman.
I'm gonna watch it.
isn't it?
Did
Is
you
Herman
watch it, Jake?
Munster?
Oh no,
I
you
haven't
know who
watched-
he is?
I haven't
He's
watched it
Gomez.
yet, no.
He's Gomez Adams.
Oh,
in
okay,
Tim
that makes
Burton's
sense.
new thing. That's
I
what it is.
was just curious if you guys saw it yet. I haven't. I'll probably watch it eventually. Maybe.
No, I'm out.
Maybe.
So what do you give this, Jake? What
I
do you
mean,
rate
I
these?
watched fucking professional wrestlers versus zombies last night, so I'm open to bad movies as well as good ones. And
Wow, I didn't think you would ever say that.
pro wrestler versus zombies as bad as they get.
What do you rate this? Or these two movies, Anthony?
Together, I give
I mean, yeah,
solid 6.1.
6.1. Okay,
Actually, my together was that as well.
6.1.
6.1. If individually I would have said like part 2 would have been like a 9 or a 5.8, and then or 10,
5.8. Oh, well,
5.8, and then like the first one would have been like a 6.6.
Well, if you're gonna give it a 6.1, I'm gonna give it a 6.8.
Okay.
Because I
Yeah, I'm
definitely
gonna
like it more than
go.
you.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna give him a solid 7. I'm going 7 all around.
7 around, dude. I don't
7 all
disagree.
Solid 7. These were fun movies. These are good movies.
Raw Nerve produced. That's Eli Roth, Scott Spiegel, and Boaz Yankin.
Yeah, they do a lot of movies. They produce a lot of shit.
That was the 3 executive producers on the commentary. If you want to check out the DVD commentary, there's also commentary with Eli Roth and the actors, and there's commentary with just Eli Roth. I think 3 different commentaries on all of them.
I think I'd rather just listen to Eli Roth.
The one with you got to listen to the one with Tarantino, obviously.
Well,
No,
for sure.
that'd be good.
That
Yeah,
one.
that'd
I
be
mean,
fun.
it's literally like if you like his it's like podcast before he had the podcast. It's
So
they're
he's
just,
coming out. He wrote a fucking cinema book, a book about 70s cinema, and he's going on a book tour with it. And he's gonna have 70s cinema filmmakers and like actors come out, and they're all gonna talk about it. Like, we gotta go.
Let's go.
It's November 3rd. Will you guys be in LA?
No, we'll be in
Oh, we'll see.
Alabama.
Alabama.
Well, I'm gonna go.
Good.
Yeah, okay.
Good for you. We'll
That's
see if he's in.
awesome.
We'll see if he comes to
Happy
Alabama.
Halloween. What is our next movie, Schwartz, for Halloween?
We're doing all the Texas Chainsaws.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's our Halloween special. Are we
So
gonna
the next
call it the
movie's
Halloween
Halloween
special Volume 2, or it's just gonna be Halloween special again? Part 2.
Whatever.
Halloween special part 2.
We're gonna do a
Special 2,
Halloween
Electric Book-
special
We should call it Halloween special 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Watch every Texas Chainsaw Massacre. We'll call it Tex Spesh.
Tech special? Nah,
We'll
the
call it
Halloween.
Halloween
The
Tech
Halloween tech special.
I think Volume 2. Texas
Halloween
Chainsaw.
Spesh, Tex Spesh 2.
Just some sort of
Electric Boogaloo.
just a lot of
Electric Boogaloo.
elaborate
Electric Boogaloo.
title with lots of colons and parentheses and
As
part.
long as there's
Day.
a jack-o'-lantern and it says Halloween special something, we're good. Because I think that was a cool aesthetic.
Halloween Spesh. Judgment
Halloween
Day.
tech special
Dude.
part 2. Texas Chainsaw Massacre Electric Boogaloo.
Tex Spesh.
That's it right there. Texas Chainsaw Massacre Electric Boogaloo.
That's gotta be that. We gotta make that movie. I think
Watch
we need
as
to make
many
Texas Chainsaw Massacre : Electric Boogaloo.
Watch as many Texas Chainsaw Massacres as you can, and listen to us next week on Halloween week.
Boobs, dog, dicks, bloody tits.